for Game 2 of this three-game set between the Colorado Rockies and the Cincinnati Reds. And good evening, everybody. Along with George Frazier, I'm Drew Goodman. Last night, the Reds broke a 5-game losing streak against Colorado, prevailing 8-5. The Rockies got all their runs against the Reds bullpen. We have a great starting pitching matchup to talk about tonight. Two 15-game winners. There are not many of those running around baseball right now. Aaron Cook, Edinson Volquez.
Well, two very good arms. Obviously, they keep the ball down in the strike zone, but they have the ability to get the punch-outs when they need to. But look at before the break, the domination that they had. 12 wins for Volquez, 11 for Aaron Cook. Since the break, Cook's been a little bit hotter at 4-2. Volquez 3-2. One of those losses out of the bullpen. He will come right at you. This is a very young, arrogant pitcher that knows he's got a great arm hanging out of that right sleeve, and he's not afraid to challenge it no matter who's at the plate. Aaron Cook, of course, in his start against the Cincinnati Reds the day after his son was born, dominated in his hometown. He was able to come out and elevate the fastball in the strike zone. He got the punch-outs there. He got a lot of good sinkers that worked on the ground that day. And again, that's Aaron Cook's deal. Strikeouts, no. Ground balls, yes. Same thing for Volquez. This has the makings of one of those 2-hour ball games, 1-0.
Well, the Rockies did get after Volquez last time in Cincinnati. If Aaron Cook were to win tonight, George, it'd be his 16th victory. Obviously, the year's second fastest Rocky ever to reach that milestone. The only one faster would have been Jason Jennings. Ian Stewart with 4 hits last night. He's cooking. He hopes to lead the Rockies offense tonight. Colorado, Cincinnati, come on back to Coors Field with us.
Southwest Airlines and FSN Rocky Mountain want to fly you out to the ball game. One lucky winner and 3 guests will fly Southwest Airlines nonstop to California to see Colorado take on San Francisco on Thursday, September 25th. Plus, we'll include 2 hotel rooms and a 2-night stay. To enter, visit southwest.com/SFO Flyaway and follow the directions. Beginning September 2nd, Southwest Airlines will offer 3 nonstop flights a day from Denver to SFO. Find out more at southwest.com.
Coors Light on tap. Because if you want an ice-cold draft, look no further than ice-cold frost-brewed Coors Light. It's aged cold, filtered cold, and stored cold. Brought to your bar and poured cold. So ask for a draft beer with a taste as cold as the Rockies. Because refreshment isn't everything. It's the only thing. Frost-brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Since I got in the loop, when I say now, I really mean it.
Since I got in the loop, I make my point way quicker.
Since I got in the loop, everyone can eat my guts.
Introducing new Quest Fiber Optic Fast Internet with connection speeds up to a blazing 3 times faster than cable. It's the speed you need for the life you lead.
What are you waiting for? Get in the loop!
Call, click, or come in to get in the loop with Quest.
Baseball coverage brought to you by LG. LG, life's good.
It was built in 1420, the Ming Dynasty.
The Yao Ming Dynasty?
No.
Only FSN Rocky Mountain can bring you one-of-a-kind reports on the country hosting the Olympic Games. The 1 in a Billion report, only on FSN Live. The Broncos are back on the gridiron. Big hits. Big plays. Preparing for the start of another big season. Packers, Broncos, Sunday at 3.
When our daughter Madison was born with a rare chromosome disorder called Prader-Willi syndrome, the Children's Hospital became our second home, our second family. That's why Carl and I support Wins for Kids. And you can too. Join us in the fight by donating an amount of your choice to the Wins for Kids campaign.
Thank you, Rockies fans, for pledging over $91,000 to the Wins for Kids campaign. Log on to ColoradoRockies.com and donate today.
Because when the Rockies win, the kids win too.
Colorado Rockies baseball on FSN is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With Southwest Airlines, fees don't fly with us. Visit southwest.com today. And by your Denver Toyota dealers. Toyota moving forward. Tonight's ball game is being presented in FSN high definition. We had some sprinkles earlier this afternoon during batting practice. Not serious enough that either team was taken off the field. And it looks like it's going to be a very pleasant evening. Dusty Baker in his 15th season as a big league manager. He's won 1,219 ball games. Let's take a look at his Southwest Airlines batting order tonight. He'll have Chris Henderson up front again. He had a base hit and a couple of RBIs last night in the 8-5 Reds win. Then Jeff Keppinger, Brandon Phillips hit a 2-run home run on the first yesterday. Joey Votto continues to impress. He has 6 hits in his last 2 ball games. Then Edwin Encarnacion, Jay Bruce, the veteran Corey Patterson, the former Cub. Paul Bacco's been around the block a couple of times. And Edinson Volquez.
Well, let's take a look at the Fidelity scouting report on Mr. Aaron Cook tonight. His 27th start for Aaron Cook, 15-8 overall, 2-0 versus his Reds. New and different. This is not the same lineup. Whenever you take Junior out of it, you take Dunn out of that, makes things a little bit different type of lineup. So find your way through this thing the first time, bounce through it the second and third.
So Aaron Cook all set to go. Aaron at 15-8, a 386 earned run average. And Cook's been always pretty fair in Coors Field. And the first pitch, that's how you want to start the ball game, huh? Yorvi Torrealba gets clipped with that.
I'm not sure where it got him. Foul ball may have got him right on top of the thigh. I'm not sure where it got him.
Scotty Garrett coming out. Rockies assistant trainer. Keith Duggar, I hope you're feeling better. Keith a little under the weather, not at the ballpark this evening. It's a tough enough spot. It's going to be a long night. Does it have to happen on the first pitch?
Very first pitch. A lot of sinker ballers. The guy's got a balls moving down. Obviously catch the bottom half of the bat. You're going to ricochet down into the strike zone. You're going to get nicked up a little bit. You see on the Hyundai cam when this ball ricochets off.
Well, suffice it to say, again, that's not how you want to start your evening. Torrealba being given all kinds of time by Jim Joyce, the home plate umpire. And while Aaron Cook makes his way back to the mound, we'll tell you more about our umpiring crew tonight. It is Joyce behind the plate. Sean Rakos is at first base. Jeff Nelson at second. And Adrian Johnson at third. Reds with their victory last night, 57-72. The Rockies 59-71. Both Arizona and the Dodgers lost yesterday, so the Rockies still 9 games out in the National League West. The Reds are in the cellar in the NL Central. They're 21.5 behind the Chicago Cubs. And that pitch is down low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dodgers lost again today, 9-2 in Philadelphia. That road trip for LA is not off to a real good start, is it?
No, it's not. And then again, you're out on that road and you're facing teams like Philadelphia. It's battling in the National League East with everybody else. It doesn't make it an easy experience for you.
Here's the 1-2. And it's pulled foul. And a little bit too far inside. 2-2. Dickerson last night struck out his first 2 at-bats against Livan Hernandez. And then he touched him for a 2-run single in the 4th inning. That ran Livan to the showers.
Well, showing a little bit more discipline at the plate. He looked at 2 pitches, swung the ball out of the strike zone against Livan. And first couple of at-bats, Livan undressed him. Then he had his success against Livan later.
In that Dodger loss today, Cole Hamels got the win. Clayton Kershaw took the loss. Pat Burrell hit his 30th home run. He drove in 5 runs. Russell Martin a home run for the Dodgers in defeat.
And the Mets are losing in Houston 5-0.
And a base hit for Dickerson. This one could be a tweener. Dickerson runs well. Hop's throw is not going to be in time. So Dickerson, a leadoff double against Aaron Cook.
Well, that's where Aaron Cook, I think, for him, will try to have success against the batters, against those left-handers. Slider down and in on the back foot, run the sinker down and away on the outside corner. If he's able to do that, he should get a lot of ground ball outs. If the ball comes up into the strike zone, that's when you run into a little bit more difficulty. 5 left-handed bats in the lineups for Cincinnati.
Here's Jeff Keppinger out of a wide open stance. And that pitch misses, ball 1. Cook is going on normal rest right now. He did have a couple of extra days in his previous start. Some lower back spasms and I think just overall fatigue. Really the first time in his big league career, George, he's been healthy throughout the season, and also keep in mind he threw 3 tough innings in that All-Star game.
Well, prior to all that happening with the back and having the extra day, he was leading the league in innings pitched. So he's been a warrior as far as starts and innings pitched, going out and facing a lot, eating up a lot of innings. Kind of caught up to him a little bit. He's second or third in innings pitched now behind Brandon Webb. He's starting to work into the 8th inning, it seems like, with a lot of regularity.
His last start was a victory against Washington, but he went only 5 innings.
And a lot of that precautionary. I mean, a couple of runs given up, 3 hits, 4 walks. Or excuse me, 4 strikeouts and just 3 walks in that start.
3 O's in there, 3 and 1 on Keppinger.
Well, that's a very good 2-hole hitter in Keppinger, a guy that'll work the ball to the right side, advance the runner to third base to get into scoring position. Phillips, one of the main RBI guys on their ball club in the on-deck circle. Very good speed. We saw that on the ball hit right center by Dickerson and out at second base.
On the corner, 3 and 2. Cook comes into the ball game 5th in the National League in innings pitched now. Brandon Webb on top along with Johan Santana, who won last night. Webb won a couple of days ago. Cole Hamels, after his victory tonight, actually will move in front of those first 2 guys. Lincecum has thrown 177 plus, then Aaron Cook. Right behind Cook, Matt Cain.
Well,
Rockies, of course, will see the Giants starting Monday.
Matt Cain starts that ball game. Lincecum goes on Wednesday.
And the Giants beat the Padres behind Barry Zito today.
Zito, what is the 8th win for him now with 15 losses?
Brian Wilson is 34th save. That leads the National League. Brandon Phillips is on deck. Cook still working on Keppinger. Leadoff double by Dickerson on a 3-2 pitch. This is already the 15th pitch of the inning, and it's just the second guy at the plate.
And nobody out.
And he loses it. So Aaron Cook with 2 men on. Brandon Phillips, who is the most dangerous bat in this Cincinnati lineup, walking to the plate. Here's the defensive alignment brought to you by Toyota. Holiday, Taveras, Hop. Infield's different. Barmes at shortstop tonight. Tulowitzki takes the seat. Baker's at second. The 2 corner infielders, Stewart and Atkins. And last night it was Iannetta behind the plate. And tonight it is Yorvit Torrealba. So Tulowitzki, who was pinch hit for late in the ball game last night. Clint Hurdle wanted to give Seth Smith. He thought that was his best matchup at the time.
Well, he's been very hot as a pinch hitter too. He's got 2 pinch hit home runs this year.
Yeah. And this is back up the middle, and nice play by Baker, and that's all they'll get. Good play by Baker to get to that baseball and at least get an out of the deal. First and third, 1 out. Of course, if that gets through, Dickerson's going to score.
But I think, too, this is where the back issue comes in for Cook. And they're not able to react, get down on the ball immediately, but a nice ranging play by Baker out at second. The easy flip over to Barmes. He did the right thing. There's a chance he could have fired it to first base, but did the right thing. Barmes did and held on to the baseball.
That's one of those deals every once in a while, George, where you'll see the shortstop wheel around and take a look at third, see if the guy at third took a big turn.
Particularly when it's a young player, because a lot of times they'll take that big turn and make a move in case they anticipate all the time the play being made at first base.
Here's Joey Votto. And to add one more thing to that, a young player, an aggressive player who runs well, so he's got a lot of confidence.
Well, he's the fastest player voted last year, fastest and best athlete Dickerson was of anybody in the Reds organization. And that's one of his assets that he's going to show off when he gets a chance.
1 strike count on Votto. Mentioned when we ran down the lineup, he's swinging the bat well. 6 hits in his last 2 ball games.
Run into the danger factor also with his power. He's hit 15 home runs on the season, 57 RBIs, and has been hitting most of the time in the 5th, 6th slot. He had an opportunity to drive in some more runs for Dusty Baker with the absence of Dunn and Griffey.
How about this? The last 2 rookies to hit double figures in home runs in the same season for the Cincinnati Reds as Votto and Bruce have already done. Way back in 1983, a couple of guys you competed against, Nick Osaski and Gary Reedus.
Yeah, 2 names out of the past you wouldn't anticipate. Went on to have very good big league careers.
This is fought off and dumped into left field, a base hit. So when you're hot, you're hot. Good pitch by Cook, and Votto just kind of blocked it out to left field. And the Reds take a 1-0 lead. They had a 2-0 lead in the top of the first last night.
Well, when you have a lot of nasty stuff, here's the next strike zone. So you get his hands really inside himself to get the barrel of the bat to the baseball. Yet with that late movement, sometimes you catch it a little below the label, above the label. Not a lot of power to it, but when you're strong, the way Votto is, he was able to take the ball and go to left field with it and just dump it in no man's land.
Now it's Edwin Encarnacion. He's got a lot of power. He's hit 22 home runs. He hits a lot of solo home runs. He's got 22 bombs, just 48 RBIs.
Yeah, I wonder too how many times you know, he's come up during the course of the season with Dunn, who had led their club in home runs. How many times he came up, the base is empty when he hit those home runs. He was hitting 5th in the lineup behind Griffey and Dunn.
Now, if you're wondering, man, is this a kid that's hit all those home runs in Cincinnati because it's got such an inviting porch in left field? The answer to that question is no. He has 13 at home. He's got 9 out on the road. He's got pop.
He's got a lot of pop. He reminds me a little bit of a Willie Mo Pena, but he hits for a better average. He's a better hitter than Willie Mo, but the type of power that, you know, you just don't think of him a lot of power numbers, but he's a guy that can drive the baseball.
Well, Willie Mo has a ton of power. Not had, has a ton of power. Big man. He's got to make contact a little more frequently. Here's the 2-1. And a line drive, glove by Barnes. He'll skip over to the bag. Phillips is doubled off there. In the inning, Aaron Cook gives up a couple of hits and a run. 1-0 Cincinnati.
Check this out. With this controller, your character will mimic your exact motions. See?
Sweet.
Now throw me a pitch, just like we're outside.
Wanna get away? Now you can. Fly Southwest Airlines' new nonstop service from Denver to select cities in California for just $89 one way, with no tricky fees for stuff that should be free.
You are now free to move about the country.
It's Toyota's National Clearance Event. The perfect time for amazing deals and selection. Now get the best-selling car in America, the 09 Camry, for $199 a month. Or get $500 cash back on the 08 RAV4. Get the 2008 Motor Trend Truck of the Year, the Toyota Tundra, with $5,000 cash back. Or get 0% APR for 60 months, plus $1,000 bonus cash. So don't miss this opportunity to save big at the Toyota National Clearance Event, only at these neighborhood Toyota stores.
They come to Applebee's on family night and game night and girls' night out. Especially now, because for a limited time only, we're bringing back Applebee's 3-Course Classic starting at $9.99. Choose 3 full courses, entree, appetizer, and dessert. 3-Course Classic starting at just $9.99. Not Tuesdays or Fridays, but every day at Applebee's. It's a whole new neighborhood.
Reds get a run. It's 1-0 as the Rockies get set to go offensively. Here's the skipper's lineup tonight. Brought to you by our friends at Southwest Airlines. Clint Barmas Ninth ball game that he has started of late where he's batting leadoff, and Willie Taveras will bat behind him. He's comfortable right now in that spot. Holiday will bat third naturally, then Brad Hopp cleanup. Garrett Atkins, Ian Stewart with a 6-game hitting streak. Jeff Baker gets his second start in the last 17 days at second base. Yorvi Torrealba 8th, and Aaron Cook 9th to face a guy with a wonderful arm, George Edinson Volquez.
Doesn't he ever? 15-5, 273, the 150 strikeouts, just 70 walks out, 2-1. The outpitch, the changeup, works off of a very good fastball, above average fastball. Likes to run it away from the hitter. Sometimes it's a little unusual with guys that don't want to throw their changeup a lot to right-handers. His breaking ball is probably his third best pitch. The fastball, you just saw it shown there at 95 miles an hour.
Rockies got 5 runs off him in 4 innings. They had 7 hits. They hit a couple home runs against him in Cincinnati. Baker hit a home run. Hopp hit a home run against him. 1 ball and 1 strike. And that's outside and low at 96, 2-1. Way inside. That 4-inning outing as a starter was his shortest of the year. Coming off a very good ball game Sunday against St. Louis. 7 innings of shutout baseball, allowed just 3 hits. Struck out 4 and walked 4. And this ball is hit in the air to left field.
Well, let's take a look where he's going to try to handle the Rockies hitters tonight. And I think this is something with 2 left-handed bats in the lineup. He likes to ride that fastball up on the outside half of the plate and run it there. He'll run the change down and in and away both. I mean, he's not scared to run it in that side and that fastball on the knees away. Very difficult, and in on the right-handers. When you add the velocity, late tail and sink, you get a lot of those strikeouts. You get a lot of ground ball outs.
Here's Willie. And he takes ball 1. Red starters, even though they're just 2-2 on this road trip, 3 in Chicago, and now they were here in Colorado. The Reds starting pitching's been outstanding, a 1.88 ERA. And Aaron Harang, 6 shutout innings last night. Rockies scored all of their runs against the Cincinnati bullpen.
And that was surprising because in the previous 50 games, think about that, folks, 50 games, their bullpen had a 3.02 earned run average. Harang last night was outstanding.
Yes, he was.
Best inning, I thought. And again, you say, well, how about this?
Safe. He's amazing. He can flat out fly.
Well, all you got to do is get it out in front of home plate and a little bit of a distance between the catcher and the pitcher. And then for Willie Taveras, it almost becomes impossible for anybody to be able to make a play on this. And Baco gets out, makes snap throw the best of his ability behind the plate as a catcher. And again, you see Willie Taveras like a sprinter, head down and digging up dirt, trying to get to the finish line, and he's done that an awful lot.
Willie's now got a hit in 10 of his last 12 ball games, hitting over 400 during that period of time. Stole his 60th base last night, and he draws the attention immediately of Volquez. So 2-3 spots in the lineup. As you see, 37 infield hits, leads the National League. 2 and 3 spots for the Rockies. 80 stolen bases between Taveras and Matt Holliday at the plate.
Interesting to see Michael Bourne's name on that, wasn't it? Guy with a lot of power, 31 infield hits.
Power? You're right, he's a speed guy.
Yeah, but he swings the bat a little bit. It's a lot of gap shots.
He can run. He's one of the fastest guys in baseball.
Yes, he can. all three of those guys. It's going to be interesting as the speed element is starting to come back into the game. More teams are starting to add one, two, not just one guy, but one or two guys in their lineups that possesses that speed.
You're thinking of Pence, George.
Yeah, was I thinking of Pence with his
with his out of the right side of the box? He does have pop.
He has a little pop, can lead the yard with it.
Yeah, you're right.
Houston Astros. But to see those guys with to see what's transpiring back again to baseball, with the speed element coming into it.
Matt's behind 0-2. He was 1 for 5 last night, had an RBI single. One of the things that's not spoken much about when you talk about base stealers, the physical toll, sliding all the time, not just when you're attempting a steal. How about when you're diving back to the bag 3 or 4 times before you actually go?
Well, that's why you make guys work as a pitcher. That's why you dive back and forth all the time. You want to make them do that.
Here's the big league leaders. 19 more than second-year man Jacoby Ellsbury of the Red Sox. Volquez and Hamilton traded for one another in the offseason. Josh Hamilton from Cincinnati to Texas, where he's having an MVP kind of year. And Volquez will get Cy Young votes, I'm sure, at the conclusion of this season. It's worked out for both clubs. And a late decision on the fastball by Holliday. It's almost as if Georgie was looking changeup.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that's you don't see a swing like that from Matt Holliday very often. Here's the trade Drew's talking about and how it's worked out. And this is what you hope for with ball clubs when you do make a move, that it works out both ways. And obviously it has for Texas and Cincinnati.
That'll bring up Brad Hopp. Bradley was 0 for 5 last night. That's most unusual of late, the way he's been swinging the bat. Still, he has 15 RBIs in his last 11 ball games. See if Willie takes off early here. It's checked out. It's the 5th time he's had to dive back in. There he goes. And Falco's throw is not going to get him. 61 stolen bases in 67 attempts. Catchers take it as a challenge. But this guy is tough to get.
Well, he really is, regardless. You saw how many times. Was it 5 or 6 times he threw to first base to try to get the dive back? Did not get it. Able to make a play on him there. And then yet Willie, as he heads up to the bag at second base, he realizes where throws may come on the positioning of the guy receiving the baseball, and it works around him into the bag.
And it's inside on Brad. 1 ball, 1 strike on Hopp. Inside. Susan Strand down in our truck, who runs graphics for us every night, and put together a very interesting graphic on steals this evening. Since 2001, most stolen bases we've seen in baseball, George. Jose Reyes last year at the Mets stole 78. Willie has a pretty good chance at moving past that this year. So you're talking about over 17 more bags. George, the reason I'm reacting now is George giving me one of those looks. But he has a chance to get 17 more bags.
Yeah, it's going to take some of those games where he gets third base a couple of times.
Yeah.
And, that type of deal. He's going to have some 3 stolen base type games to get it done.
But the point being, you were alluding to this earlier when you came up with the Cardinals, and guys running wild on the turf. Over the last 7 years, at the end of the year, Willie may have the most stolen bases we've seen. Two and two on Hop. And he got him with a heater at 97 miles an hour. Willie singles and steals second, but he's left there. It's 1-0 Cincinnati.
In celebration of our 100th anniversary,
we're sharing our GM employee discount with everyone.
You pay what we pay.
Not a cent more.
The GM employee discount.
For everyone.
Take advantage of the discount and get the 2008 Chevy Silverado with better available V8 fuel economy than Tundra and F-150. That's right. Get this 2008 Silverado half-ton for around $20,500 after all offers.
Real sports talk.
79 pitches, threw his 61st pitch in the 7th inning. Just efficiency all the way around.
Real analysis.
That leads me to believe that, boy, that sinker is really working tonight.
Real thoughts.
We're going there and tell the boys are hungover.
Real drama.
You know, I was really wrestling with my work. I was a baseball player.
From the field to the clubhouse, get the real story on FSN Live. Get ready for this year's Crest Rocky Mountain Showdown with exciting back-to-back games from the past on CU Home Team Classics. In 04, the Buffs' rushing game is unstoppable, but the Rams rally back, and the outcome rests on a last-second play. Then, the 05 Showdown, featuring a furious lead-changing fourth quarter, ending in more final-second heroics. Back-to-back Showdown on CU Home Team Classics, Sunday at noon.
Yeah, the Rockies trail on this one 1-0 as Cincinnati comes to bat here in the top of the second inning as we look at the Bird Automotive keys to victory. Take advantage, and when I say that, take advantage of opportunities presented to them. Last night, bases loaded, could not get a run across. People in scoring position come up with it. The defense is going to have to play a role in this game. A sinker baller on the mound with Aaron Cook produces a lot of ground ball outs. Well, another one of their great young players coming up through the minor leagues. They're going to hang their hat on, Jay Bruce.
Here's the 1-0. That touches the inside corner, 1-1. And Holiday a sliding grab. Boy, Matt has had more outstanding plays in the last week and opportunities for outstanding plays in a week than a left fielder may see in 2 months.
It's a matter of getting great reads on the baseball, then react to it. And Holiday's done that in the last week and a half, and even before that. Coming in and realize that I've got to make a slide on this. It's either head first or it's going to be a slide. And he made the slide and able to make the catch in left field and to retire Bruce. Difficult play on a left-handed hitter, swinging it with the bat, the ball going to the opposite field with sink and tail.
Here's the 1-0 on Corey Patterson, the one-time Cub prospect.
Well, he's really in uniform with Cincinnati because of Dusty Baker. Dusty has always liked Corey Patterson, the potential that was there. Now he's hitting a .193. He has shown a little bit of power. 8 home runs, 21 RBIs.
1-2. And a base hit. CU and CSU fans, pay attention. Time to show your school spirit. Text Buffs or Rams to 22700 to vote for your team. Quest will donate $5,000 to the Boys and Girls Club in either Boulder or Fort Collins, depending on which team gets the most votes. Again, the way you vote 22700. Text Buffs or Rams. I'll bring up Paul Bacco. Reds have used 4 different catchers this year. Hannigan, who caught last night. Bacco. Valentin, who's more of a pinch hitter. He's made only 6 starts. Javier Valentin. And a guy they recently released, David Ross. Cook, in beating the Reds on July 25th, allowed 1 run in 8 innings, just 4 hits, didn't walk anybody. It's almost as if the Reds have said tonight, you know what, even if we take a strike early, we're going to work some counts. Because Aaron can get on one of those rolls, George, where it's 4-pitch inning, 6-pitch inning, 7-pitch inning.
He loves aggressive hitters because you're swinging at some pitches that are going to dive out of the zone and produce a lot of outs and produce them quickly. Hey, Wednesday, September 3rd, the Giants are in town. The first 7,500 through the gates will receive a Brad Hop Live the Dream t-shirt, courtesy of Coors and Rocky Mountain News. Purchase tickets today for that ball game, September the 3rd.
For the second, and he got him. Yorvi Torrealba has been throwing the ball better and better as the season has worn on. And he cuts down Corey Patterson trying to steal.
Now, a lot of times when your shoulder starts out a little sore, you throw with a lot of body throw. Now all of a sudden the shoulder's there, the technique's there, and the results obviously have started to show with Torrealba throwing the ball well ahead of the advancement of the runner, and then the tag of Corey Patterson. For Patterson, it's the 3rd time he's been caught this year.
Torrealba's now caught about 22% of would-be base stealers. It's a dangerous place in the lineup to run because you run the risk if you are caught and the 8-hole hitter makes an out. Now you're leading off next inning with your pitcher.
Well, I think that's something Patterson probably did on his own. I'm surprised I don't see Dusty making a move like that. Typical with his, as a manager, you give him a green light trying to get into scoring position. Sometimes you roll that dice. Base hit by Bacco, scoring from second. See, I always had the idea, and this is probably the wrong idea. That's why I sit in the booth all the time. If you're 20 games under 500, why not? Let it fly. You know, you're 15, 20 games under 500, run the dice a little different. You never know. Do the least, you know, it's like Zimmer, pinch hitter, hit and run with the bases loaded. Why not? It worked twice.
That looks odd.
Irv Brown told me, he said, there's no way he ever did that. And I said, well, you asked Zim when he came to town. He asked Zim. Zim, well, sure, did it twice, worked both times.
Volquez will lead off next inning. 1-0 Reds, middle of 2.
The Lincoln launch event ends in 4. You got it. 2. We see the 1. You got it. Time is counting down to lease a Lincoln MKZ for $339 a month during the Lincoln launch.
Celebrities don't have to worry about family budgets, but we sure do. We're paying more for food and gas, making it harder to save for college, retirement. Obama's solution? Higher taxes, called a recipe for economic disaster. He's ready to raise your taxes, but not ready to lead.
I'm John McCain, and I approve this message.
The Cardiac and Vascular Institute at Exemplis St. Joseph Hospital provides comprehensive cardiac care that is leading the nation in heart surgery outcomes. Your family is your priority. They're ours too. Visit stjosephheart.org.
Growing a business takes time. But if you're distracted with little problems, you're not focused on the big picture. Quest provides integrated voice, data, and network solutions, giving you time back to make sure your business can reach its potential. Get Quest. Get nimble.
Fans, feed your Rockies fever at Taco Bell. If your Colorado Rockies score 7 or more during tonight's ball game, go to Taco Bell tomorrow in Colorado between 4 and 6 in the afternoon and get 4 tacos for $1. Now that's a steal. 1-0 Cincinnati. It'll be Garrett Atkins, Ian Stewart, and Jeff Baker. Let's check in now with Mark Stout with tonight's great Colorado payback sideline report.
Thank you, Drew. You've been talking about Josh Hamilton and Edinson Volquez in the trade. Everybody knows Hamilton's had his issues. So has Volquez. He did pitch in the big leagues at 05 and 06, but at the end of spring training at 07, the Rangers demoted him to high A ball to Bakersfield. And they gave him a list that they made him sign of about a dozen things he had to adhere to, or else he'd be fined $250 and possibly miss a start in the rotation. I'm talking about how he cut his hair, how he wore his uniform, how fast he got off the mound after pitching. Well, he went to Bakersfield, and in his first 7 starts, he had an ERA of about 7. Called his agent up and said, I'm done. I'm going back to the Dominican Republic. I pitch in the big leagues. I don't want this. He said, just stick it out. And finally, of course, things have paid off. The trade has worked out for both teams, as you said. Now, George, you know Mark Connor was the pitching coach then, and he's used this tactic in the past with Roy Halladay where you demote them and then just try to get them right, both pitching and mentally, and apparently it's worked for Halladay and hopefully Volquez too, who of course is an all-star. Guys?
Well, no question,
Yeah.
Mark. And Mark Connor is one of those guys that is a very strict discipline, came out of the Yankees system. Actually, he was the head coach at Tennessee for a year before he went back to pro baseball. And I think Mark probably instilled that, because after that 0-4 start, he went 14-2 before coming to the big leagues at the end of the year last year, where he went 2-1. You see the wins in the National League. Brandon Webb at 19, Cook, Volquez at 15 each.
He's pounding the bottom of the strike zone. He misses there, 3-2. Ball in the air to center field. Hit toward the end of the bat. And the catch is made by Corey Patterson. Did you know that Chevy has 8 models that get an EPA estimated 30 mpg highway or better? Chevy, made for Colorado. Well, we said when this series started, forget the Reds' record, you're going to see 3 really good arms. Aaron Harang returned to form last night. Edinson Volquez, and tomorrow afternoon, Johnny Cueto. He's got a big arm.
Yeah, another great arm coming out of their rotation. They seem to have been able to produce some arms. Now they're starting to get some young position players to go along with it. Hannigan's up here now, is the best tools in the International League to go along with Jay Bruce, Joey Votto. I mean, they're getting it back in line again, and I think that's where Walt Jocketty, who took over for Wayne Kravitsky, is going to make some changes and get some things done to make this a better ball club.
1 ball, 1 strike on Ian Stewart. A career best 4 hits last night. A career best 5 RBIs Friday night in Los Angeles. Talk about being in a good place. That's a strike. The interesting thing is the Reds play in that bandbox. No more Junior, no more Dunn, and they're remaking themselves with a pretty fair rotation as opposed to with a bunch of bombers.
Well, that's one thing. I think you look back at the Rockies' history, what they tried to do here in the late 90s, early 2000s. We're just going to outslug everybody. We'll win all the games 15-14. In that type of situation, we got to carry such a big pitching staff. A lot of guys in your bullpen because starters are gone early, that you go back and good pitching will stop hitting. And I think that's where, you build on pitching, you build on defense. Dusty Baker can handle a rotation and handle a bullpen. Now they're hoping Homer Bailey can turn the corner. He has struggled at the big league level. The last time he had a win this year was in April.
Ian Stewart, since the All-Star break, tied for the league lead in RBI. He's got 33. Along with Brad Hopp. 3-2. And look what else he's done since the All-Star break. Well, there's the RBI leaders. Albert Pujols now with 33 also. And the other numbers that I was referring to, 20 runs scored, 10 doubles, 6 home runs, all since the break. Those aren't just outstanding by a rookie standards, those are outstanding, period. 3-2, and he got to that one and fouled it back. Todd Helton was extremely complimentary of Ian Stewart during our pregame show. And this is something he had shared with Ian. He said, man, you have unbelievable whip through the strike zone.
He's got great, and that's what generates so much of that bat speed that comes through, the ability to drive the ball out of the ballpark.
I'll relate a story. This is 2007. Spring training. Before the hitters had to officially report, Ian Stewart, Todd Helton, Matt Holliday, Hopp, they're all there early anyhow. They're on a back field, field 5 at the Tucson complex at High Corbett Field, and the fence is what, George, about 25 feet high all the way around?
Yeah, oh yeah.
400 feet from everywhere, not just center field. This ball's pulled foul. I mean, it's 400 down the left field line, it's 400 down the right field line. It is an enormous ballpark. No park would ever be made that way. It's for practice. Ian Stewart is hitting bombs over that 25-foot wall, not just on the pull side, not just to center field. He's hitting them the other way over the wall.
Yeah, a lot of these guys that watch the power, they're up on the seats in the dugout, waiting for that explosion to happen here at Coors Field, too, and it could. They'll leave a fastball up in the strike zone. A lot of great hitters love to watch, and good hitters get together. And you look down into the dugout now, and here's the 3 guys you see right here, Hopp, Holliday, and Adkins, 3 pretty good hitters in the middle of that order. They're watching Stewart, but they're also watching Volquez to try to solve that mystery in their next time up. And what they look for, does he do something different with the glove? Is there a higher leg kick on the changeup, not a high leg kick? Does he repeat everything the way he needs to? I mean, those are things you look at to help pick off one of his pitches that he threw. I know Dwight Gooden used to throw an index finger in the air when he threw a curveball early in his career and gave it away.
For a long time, it didn't matter.
For a long time, it didn't matter. But I remember in '84, the Cubs got after him very well, and they could never figure out, how are you hitting that hook so well? And the index finger flew straight in the air.
How about that at bat by Stewart?
Very good at bat. Worked the walk, drive up that pitch count.
Yeah, 9-pitch at bat. And he was behind initially. Here's Jeff Baker. He homered against Volquez back in Cincinnati. Stewart's also a guy, George, that I think, because he's very athletic, he runs pretty decently, he may be a guy that could steal 8 to 12 bases.
Well, he could be, and not a huge factor on the bases, stealing bases, but somebody that could get into scoring position when you needed him to. First, steal third base with 1 out. Those types of situations. Not a base stealer that's a true base stealer.
And now he's going to cruise to second on a wild pitch. The Rockies have the tying run at second.
Volquez pitching to Baker like he remembers that home run in Cincinnati. You don't want to give him anything to hit. I like the matchup just because Baker's such a very, very good fastball hitter. This ball, a line shot down the left field line in Cincinnati.
Got a slider up in the strike zone. 2-0 on Big. And then he got a slider, not a heater. It fooled him. 2-1. Second start for Baker in the last 8 ball games. Big June and July. Tailed off at the beginning of August. Now Barmes has been playing on a regular basis. Seeing 3 different starters, primary starters at second base this year. Nix initially, who by the way did come back and play for the bronze medal winning U.S. baseball team, which is great news after being hit. Baker and Barmes also, and Baker will go to first. That is the second walk allowed back to back now. And Yorvi Torrealba will come up. The Rockies had a couple of opportunities against Aaron Harang. One in particular, George, bases loaded situation last night when they could not capitalize in the 5th inning with nobody out. Holiday popped out, Hopp and Atkins struck out. And here's an opportunity.
And a different Aaron Harang showed up that inning too. All of a sudden that velocity jumped 93-94 late in their bats to get those out. It set 89-92 for most of the ball game. You wonder what 2 miles an hour does to a hitter. It just gets on you that much quicker, and with that late movement he had success.
0-1 on Torrealba. Oh, 2. Two and 2.
Yeah, able to get a couple of strikes on a couple of different hitters. He did it with Stewart. He did it with Torrealba. Yet hadn't been able to finish the deal off. The walk to Stewart and the walk to Baker.
It's amazing about Volquez. His first 16 starts of the year, his ERA never was above 2. And now at this point in the season, start number 26, he's never had an ERA above 3. Got him on a slider. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Aaron Cook.
Well, with his ability to strike people out to an electric arm that he has, you can see this pitch on the Hyundai cam. It's a changeup. Watch that ball just dives down into the strike zone. And again, you know, when you watch the way he holds his slide, that holds that changeup, and the way he comes through with this thing and that late dive to it, that's a kind of a spike type pitch that he throws with velocity. They're very, very difficult to hit. I didn't think he'd give Cook first pitch fastball. I mean, that scouting report's starting to come out on Aaron Cook.
Well, Cook lined out his first time up against Volquez in Cincinnati, and then grounded to short. He hit the ball very hard his first time up, so he got the first pitch changeup. And Aaron lays down a bunt. This surprises everybody. The throw to first down the right field line. That'll score at least 1. Here comes Baker. He gets waved around. Here's the throw to the plate. It's offline. 2-1 Colorado. Aaron Cook stands at second base on the throwing error by Paul Baca. How about Aaron Cook? Any way I can beat you, I'll find a way. And that's exactly what he did there, laying down a bunt.
And his 5th error, Baco of the season, had plenty of time to get after Cook. It appeared that way, just worked under the baseball, which caused it to sail and cut. And he turns this thing loose, well out of the reach of first base, Joey Votto. I mean, Votto doesn't have a shot at this ball. So he's running to the bag, see, well off of the line. And when that happened, then it's off to the races. Stewart able to come around and score. The Gallego says, no gamble, we're going to send Bake. He does the same exact thing.
It is a base hit. And the 2 runs are unearned on the error by Baco.
You take the runs any way you can. You know you're going to be in a low-scoring ball game, or it should be, put it that way. With these 2 guys on the mound, and the first guy to blink or make the mistake, capitalize on it, the Rockies did it. Okay, I was just going to say his pitch count's really jumped up. 48 total now, and he's not out of the second.
That's what the Rockies were able to do to him in Cincinnati. Dusty Baker pulled him after 4 innings. His pitch count was well above 90 that evening. 1 and 2 on Barmes, hitting .356 this year at Coors Field. Got an on-base percentage of almost 400 here at home. That's the pitch he always has to stay off of. Off speed away. It was a changeup this time. Good job by Barmes, letting that one pass. 2 and 2 with Cook at second. Pulled deep in the hole. Keppinger gets it. 1 play to third. Safe there. That was his only play. There's no way he was going to get Barmes. It's a base hit for Clint Barmes, and here comes Willie Taveras.
Well, look, you're exactly right. I mean, he's not going to have a play over at first base. So what he tried to do is Cook took off a spin, snap throw to third to Encarnacion. Stick your nose right in there and get after it. Straddle that bag and put the tag down in a hurry. Cook able to slide in safely so he keep this thing alive. You thought he was out, huh? Did you think he was out?
Oh, he might have been.
Been close?
Close.
Yeah.
But you know what? I don't have a call. I would have called him safe. Hey, George?
Yes.
Willie should take a page out of Cook's book right here.
You think?
Yeah.
Pretty good idea if you ask me. I think you can tell him it's coming. It doesn't matter. It's kind of like a guy that throws 103 miles an hour like Broxton the other day when he's closing out games.
Well, here's why.
There it is. Go ahead. You can tell him.
You know what? You got Baco just threw the ball down the right field line. You got Encarnacion who's made 19 errors this year, and most of them have been throwing errors at third base. You got a young guy at first in Votto. You have a guy on the hill who's probably a little hacked off right now because he's closing in on 40 pitches this inning. Well, probably not going to happen now. It's 0-2.
Well, it's frustrating. You get a young kid that's frustrated a little bit. You try to take advantage of it every way you can.
He's one of the few right-handers that's got the lefty thing going, George. Volquez got the hat.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
he had that over at Cincinnati, too. He had that running off a little bit to the side also.
Willie trying to keep the inning going. Rockies have a 2-1 lead. Matt Holliday's on deck.
I'd like to look back and see what that error by Bacco not only cost you 2 runs, how many pitches does it cost Volquez in the inning? It was like in the low 40s, wasn't it? I mean, it's added another 12 to 13 pitches in this inning.
Barmes takes off and no throw. Barmes has his 9th stolen base. He just adds on to a career best already. And 2 in scoring position with an even count on Willie Taveras. You know, if Bacco makes a good throw, I know Cookie got a base hit and it was really a nice play by Aaron Cook, but if he wheels and makes a good throw, Cook's probably out at first.
Oh, yeah, I would agree with you. I think he was out at first base. It's why I said a gift and taking advantage of it. Well, that error after the error, 10 pitches just added to his count, make that 11 now. 45 still high through 2 innings. It's really high at 56 when he's not out of the second.
Slider is not a sharp one. It's out of the strike zone. And it's 3-2.
17 pitches thrown in the first inning and 40 here in the second.
That's not what you're looking for?
Normally not.
No?
Not from a guy that's 15-5. No.
Base hit here would be huge. Slider missed. Wow. I thought Jim Joyce was going to ring up Willie Taveras. Where was that pitch? Dick Pohl's going to come out. I know Volquez wasn't happy.
Well, it's more of just calming down a little bit too. As you look on the deck strike zone, I thought that ball was up. And on the deck strike zone, you can see the ball's up and off the plate enough that it didn't get any of the plate at all. You know, Bacco's out there. He's saying, pick me up. Hey, I made a mistake. Got this inning expanded. Put 2 runs on the board against you. Should have had Cook at first. Dick Pohl trying to get him focused back in again. Hey, it's a 2-1 ball game. It's not like it's 10-1.
Nope, but you know what? He's got to deal with Matt Holliday now with the bases drunk.
And last night, Holliday did not come through against Harang. I got a feeling tonight he'll come through against Volquez. Came in with an RBI single later in the ball game against their bullpen. You see those numbers, just astounding numbers. 393 grand slams.
Remember last night, he popped out with the bases loaded. Holliday broke his bat, ripped his batting gloves, and he got a changeup on the first pitch.
Well, I've said this an awful lot, and you know, I think if you watch at home over and over again, that they throw a ball out here, Holliday will drop his body down to get to a position to drive that baseball. You know, he will change his pattern. He chased a bad pitch there, and he'd tell you the same thing. But he'll change his swing and his pattern. It's not a same swing pattern constantly. And, you know, a lot of guys that have that same swing over and over, and you throw it in there, you're going to get hurt. He's a guy that could go away with the break the ball. He can jerk it into right center field. I mean, there's just a lot of things he does with it. And unfortunately, right now, he's got back-to-back changeups. If it's a heater, I got a feeling it's going to be up, and it's going to be up high into the plate. Another changeup. Down in the dirt at 85, didn't get him to chase. See, that's it. Changeup so velocity-oriented that, you know, when he runs it up 85, 86, it still has big movement and sink to it.
Here's the 1-2. Ground ball to second, and Brandon Phillips will throw it to Joey Votto. In the inning, the Rockies get a couple of runs courtesy of the throwing error by Paul Bacco. 2-1 they lead.
Coors Light on tap. Because if you want an ice cold draft, look no further than ice cold frost brewed Coors Light. It's aged cold, filtered cold, and stored cold. Brought to your bar and poured cold. So ask for a draft beer with a taste as cold as the Rockies. Because refreshment isn't everything. Ah, It's the only thing. Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
You can buff up, clean up, but you can't cover up that bald spot. Instead of hiding it, solve it with Men's Rogaine Foam. In clinical testing, 85% of men regrew hair. Men's Rogaine Foam. Use it or lose it.
Never before has the gecko been captured on film talking about RV insurance.
So, you guys travel a lot. You should check out Geico and get a free rate quote on RV insurance.
This is truly history in the making.
You can also get a rate quote on motorcycle insurance, ATV insurance, personal watercraft insurance.
Sounds good.
Excuse me, I'm up here.
Geico, saving you money on insurance for your car and the other stuff that moves you.
The Great Colorado Payback, reuniting you with your money. I'm State Treasurer Carrie Kennedy. To find out if you have unclaimed funds, log on to our website or call 1-800-825-2111.
Colorado Rockies baseball on FSN is brought to you by Chevy. Did you know Chevy has 8 models that get an EPA estimated 30 mpg highway or better? Chevy made for Colorado. By Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And by Quest, get in the loop and change the way you connect with the things you love. Rockies leading the Reds 2-1, trying to even this series. They fell last night 8-5, along with George Frazier. I'm Drew Goodman. Mark Stout with us as well. Here's Volquez, and Cook's first delivery is in there for a strike.
We have a little bit of concern, if there is any, on Cook's back after a long inning of sitting in the dugout, running the bases, sliding. A number of things in that inning, and see how it affects when it comes back out. First pitch strike. Hey, Coors Field Suites and Party Facilities, great way to entertain your clients, associates, families, and friends. Bring them out to the ballpark. Call 303-312-2444. Still a lot of great packages available for this year, and the 09 partial suite packages are now available for 2009 season.
Here's the 1-2. 2-2. This homestand, if you want to call it that, is about enough to get laundry done. 3 games and back out. George, I've seen more helicopters flying overhead in the last 48 hours.
Well, Drew, I want to tell you that the DNC's coming to, the Democratic National Convention's coming to town, so it's going to be a little crowded around town.
Thank you.
You didn't know that?
When did that all go down?
And yeah, it's pretty crowded downtown. You kind of live out in the suburbs. I stay downtown. There's a lot of guys dressed in black suits, red ties, sunglasses, and they talk on their watches a lot.
Got an earbud in?
Yeah, a little earbud, and they talk to their watch an awful lot. I don't understand what's going on.
I've seen some guys who aren't quite as discreet. A lot of police officers in full regalia. Here's the 2-2, and that is bounced to Ian Stewart. 1 out. Let's take a look at our Geico quote of the day from Clint Hurdle on Livan Hernandez, who's now 1-2 in a Rockies uniform. We don't do anything for the short term. I'd like to think there is more there. Talking about Livan's outings, he has the one outing where he got a win, but he actually gave up 6 runs. Most of those came late. And last night, in fairness to Livan, hey, runs are runs. However, it's not like, other than the home run by Phillips, they weren't knocking the ball all over the yard. But 8 hits is 8 hits. 6 runs are 6 runs.
Exactly. I mean, and unfortunately, when you have his velocity, and if it's a little bit what I call below hitting speed at 86, you're going to get a lot of knuckles. You're going to get a lot of balls off the end of the bat that just happen to drop in.
Chris Dickerson lined a double to right center field his first time up. He's got phenomenal speed. And it's a great opportunity with the trade of Adam Dunn for a kid like Dickerson. He's not really he's not a puppy. He's a guy who played college baseball at Nevada.
Well, he's been around a little bit. He does have that long gliding type strides. And, it's just an opportunity that was presented. He was stuck behind, obviously, Dunn and Griffey in the outfield, and the opportunities weren't going to be there a whole lot. Last year, Joey Hamilton jumped in there, and then now all of a sudden he's getting his chance. It's time to take advantage of it.
And, you know, he earned it, too. I mean, he swung the bat well in AAA. He hit .287 this year with 11 home runs, 53 RBIs, 26 stolen bases. He played both corner spots and center field in Louisville. Two balls and 2 strikes on Dickerson. Toriyama sets up away. Good pitch there from Aaron Cook. A slider with some tilt to it, George.
It was very good. Pitch right on the outside corner. You can see him a late dive on it. It's showing him fastball away, and then all of a sudden just backed off a little velocity, dropped the pitch down, picked up his first strikeout of the ball game.
2 outs, nobody on. Jeff Keppinger will take his turn.
He had a long at bat against Cook in his previous at bat. He walked, fouled off a lot of pitches. Anytime your offense puts 2 runs on the board, puts any hits on the board, which the Rockies did, you just want to get them back into the dugout, get him swinging the bat again, get a guy out there like Volquez with a pitch count up, get him throwing the baseball, and try to get after him.
Keppinger is a 28-year-old from Georgia, and this is an easy play for Stewart. Go hop, fire, 1-2-3 inning for Aaron Cook. Rockies 2 and the Reds 1.
Hey, Dex.
Hey, Sharon. Hi, Sharon.
Whoa, 2 of you. Who do I ask?
Whoever. It doesn't matter.
I need to find a good veterinarian.
Dog or cat?
Iguana.
Okay. All right. The closest veterinarian with a herpetology background, lizard doctor, is Dr. Todd Eisner. Shall we go to his website?
Thanks, Dex. Bzz.
Can we go to the website? What?
Dex the Book and DexKnows.com. The most used, most complete local info any way you like it. Dex knows.
Boy, this fried ice cream blast is special, isn't it?
It really is.
This is uncharted dessert territory.
I know, with the cinnamon crisp on
top. And the
top.
caramel whipped throughout.
You should take a moment to just...
commemorate.
Yeah.
Well, hold on, no. Commemorate. I mean, if you're going to commemorate. Don't just stare off. Whoa, no, I don't know what that was. That was not commemoration.
Yes, it was.
Fried Ice Cream Blast. New at Sonic. A creamy blend of vanilla soft serve, caramel, cinnamon crisps, and whipped topping. Grab one tonight because Sonic's open till midnight or later and is even sweeter after dark.
No. Don't put them all in your mouth. Start small. You guys aren't ready for multiple sweets yet. Good job, Chloe. Baby steps. You gotta put baby steps.
Am I supposed to chew it or spit it?
You're supposed to chew it and then spit it out. That's awful. Chris, no more seeds for you. Stick to gum.
Hey, Drew Goodman here for my friends at AMCO. If you see a leak under your car, it could be a sign of a problem. Take it to AMCO. The experts at AMCO will diagnose it absolutely free. You see, you've got a guy for all your car care needs.
2-1 Colorado. Tonight's game sponsored by Fidelity Investments. Visit a rep today in Denver, Broomfield, or Lone Tree. Brad Hopp will lead off. Second look at Edinson Volquez. Struck out his first time. Slider on the back door.
Dusty Baker right now looking at a pitch count of 63 pitches. It's a 2-1 ball game. How far can I let this youngster go? And if Dusty's looking at it, he's saying, all right, let's say 15 pitches per inning. 4 more, maybe? No, that's too many. Maybe 3 more to get it around 100 if he could get us into the 5th inning.
Down the line, good stop by Votto, and he's going to slide to the bag in front of Brad Hopp.
Might have turned his ankle, too. What's he limping around about?
He just looked at the dugout and said, I'm all right. This date in history brought to you by Dex, August 23rd, 2001. I'll never forget it, George. You and I were both there. Jason Jennings, in his big league debut, not only a complete game shutout, and oh yeah, let me throw in a home run as well. First major leaguer in history to homer and throw a shutout in his debut. And we wish Jason well. He's had a battle with injuries the last couple of years. Last year with Houston, this year with Texas.
Well, it was. It's difficult because of the arm. I mean, he's had so much problems with it. Has yet to be able to put a full season together. The last 2 years, battled it, tried to pitch through it. Velocity has dropped.
This is pulled down the left field line. See if Atkins can get 2 bags out of it. He most certainly will now. Dickerson had to dive to stop the baseball, and then it rolled a little bit behind him. A one-out double for Garrett Atkins.
And he did a nice job on this ball by Volquez and just jerked it down the left field line. 30th double this season for Garrett Atkins. The next strike zone, and right on the middle half of the plate, in, up with the velocity, and then up with the bat by Garrett Atkins. Just drove it down into the corner in left field.
Base hit off the bat of Ian Stewart. Here comes Atkins with the Rockies' 3rd run. Ian Stewart, RBI number 39, 3-1, Colorado.
Now looking at him in his side swing. Look out, it's a little bit wider stance now. Also how he sits down on that back leg, and then as the pitch comes, watch everything rotate back. And as the pitch starts to come forward, everything works together. Off of the stiff front leg, you see the nice back leg drive on it, and just get the hands inside the baseball, and then just take it into the opposite field. I'll tell you what, a very, very good young hitter. When he first came up, I thought, you know what? If he doesn't make adjustments, he's going to continue to be overmatched. Because I felt like guys were overmatching him in. And then all of a sudden, boy, he went down. He worked at it. And he worked really hard at it. RBI sits the break. 34 takes over the lead over Hop, Pujols, Delgado in Ludwig. Guys having tremendous years. Veterans in the big leagues.
Two 2-0 on Baker. Baker walked his first time up, scored on the Paul Bacco error. Bounce to Keppinger. There's one on the first. Double play. In the inning, Garrett Atkins doubled. Ian Stewart singled. The Rockies get another run. They're up 3-1 as we go to the 4th.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Chevy Sports Desk alongside Eric Hillman. I am Alana Rizzo. Eric, did you hear that there's a speed walking competition in the Olympics?
That's amazing. Speed walking is a competition, is an event in the Olympics, yet they took away baseball. Yeah. BMX is a sport now.
True.
You know, they might as well just have thumb wrestling, lawn darts, and maybe sandwich making. That's a good Olympic event.
If I want to see speed walking, I'm just going to go to the mall on Sunday morning.
Yeah, anytime it starts to rain, you can see Catching the Vent anywhere around here.
That and much more FSN Live after the game.
At Southwest, just like you, we're loving life in Denver. Fly Southwest new nonstop service from Denver to Omaha or San Francisco International starting September 2nd.
You are now free to move about the country.
They come to Applebee's on family night and game night and girls' night out. Especially now, because for a limited time only, we're bringing back Applebee's 3-course classic starting at $9.99. Choose 3 full courses, entree, appetizer, and dessert. Three-course classic starting at just $9.99. Not Tuesdays or Fridays, but every day at Applebee's. It's a whole new neighborhood.
Well, the Rockies jump out on top 3-1 here. They've out-hit Cincinnati 5-3.
If your windshield's chipped or cracked, don't wait. Call Colorado's #1 team, Elite Safelite Auto Glass, 303-287-5000, or visit safelite.com. Brandon Phillips will lead things off here for the Reds in the 4th. He bounced into a force play his first time up. 3, 4, and 5 in the Reds lineup. Outside. Here's something interesting about Dusty Baker's club this year, George. They're 21.5 games out. They're 15 under 500, but get this, against teams that are 500 or better. So the good clubs in the National League, they're 35 and 35. They played 500 baseball. Deep short, Barmes long throw, and Atkins couldn't keep it in the glove. Of teams below 500, they're 22 and 37. So they played much better against the quality teams in the league than they have against the subpar teams.
Well, there's no question, and I think that's one thing Dusty's trying to get to do. The teams you're supposed to beat, teams under 500, that's where you got to start playing your better baseball. And don't get so geared up against the St. Louis, Milwaukee's, Mets, Floridas, and different type ball clubs that way. Well, for Clint Barmes, he'll pick up his 8th error of the season.
Joey Votto singled his first time. And drove in a run, his 58th run batted in for Votto. He got a chance to visit a little bit before the game with Jeff Francis. A couple of guys that'll play together for Team Canada during the World Baseball Classic next spring. Joey signed out of high school. Had he not, one of the places he was thinking about going is Coastal Carolina, which has an outstanding baseball program.
Yeah, every year they seem they're kind of one of those sleeper types that you look at, but every year they show up and they're in a super regional, or they win in conferences. They're getting invited to different places. They play a very difficult schedule. They're kind of along the same lines as like an Oral Roberts University. Nobody wants to come to their place and play. They always want them to go on the road, and they go out and they play very well.
Yes, they do. Oh, 0-2 on the Toronto native, Joey Votto. Ooh, closer. One and two. Reds have had success over the years at Coors Field. There's 5 under 500.
Found it interesting too. This edition of Baseball America, you see it. Aaron Atkins, a little bit of a strong look back at Sean Rakos, a rookie umpire at first base. Aaron Cook was voted by managers and coaches in Baseball America third best pickoff move behind Doug Davis of the Diamondbacks and Jamie Moyer of the Phillies.
Two lefties. So of right-handers.
Number one.
And Votto has himself another hit. And Phillips hesitated. Now he's going to try to go to third, and he is out. Oh, they call him safe. Wow.
Yeah, Clint Hurdle's flying out of the dugout to go talk about this one.
Adrian Johnson called him safe. The ball beat him. The tag was whipped down by Stewart. And the runner moves to second. So now you have the tying run at second base. Watch Phillips around second. He picks up his third base coach, hesitated for a moment, then said, oh, I'll keep going.
Well, the hesitation should have cost him. There's the ball there. There's the tag there. This is really going to show it to you here. Did his foot get in or did it not get in? Adrian Johnson standing right behind it. Watch his hand. Watch his right hand. See if he appears to bring the hand up to start with. And then went with the safe call. That on the Hyundai cam. We see Stewart hold the ball up immediately.
Nobody out. Encarnacion.
Well, here's another look at this play at third base as the throw comes in. Did that foot slide underneath of there? Well, I tell you what, that is bang, bang.
It's hard to tell, it really is.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. The tag appeared to be applied on the shin area. And if it was, then the foot was in under it. I'll tell you one thing, Johnson had himself in position to make the right call. At third base, he got right in line with the throw, rotated around for the tag.
Torrealba with the block. You know, ordinarily you don't want your outfielders trying to get the guy at third base with less than 2 outs. But in that situation, because you want to keep the double play in order, but in that situation, Willie Taveras looked up, he sees Phillips hesitate, and he felt like he's going to have him dead to rights. And he made a good throw.
And I think he did. I mean, it was one of his most strongest accurate throws. It was very accurate. Strong, maybe not, but yet I thought it was there in plenty of time and the right choice to make.
Hard at the third baseman, Stewart. And he holds Phillips and fires a strike to Garrett Atkins. 1 out without advancement.
I thought Phillips did a nice job there trying to convince Stewart to try to make a play on him. Let me tell you about the value packs. They're coming up in September. The first on is September 1st. The Giants are in town. Then the 15th, the Padres are in town. $49 gets you 4 hot dogs, 4 tickets to the ball game, 4 Cokes, and a whole lot more. Purchase them online at ColoradoRockies.com.
Jay Bruce at the plate. And he takes a strike. Oh, and 2. Now Cook, who doesn't generate a great number of strikeouts, can think about it here. You have Corey Patterson on deck. 2 in scoring position for the Reds, with the Rockies leading 3-1.
Well, that was a nice move by Barmes. They thought they had a pickoff out at second base, and they didn't. And I think that's where they really. See right here, look at him jump, and oh man, there's somebody yelled at him, said get back, and he took off flying back to the bag, which that helps because on the base hit, if there was a base hit there, obviously it's going to be difficult for him to score.
Ground ball through the hole. There's one, and around third, here comes Votto. The throw to the plate is not in time. And it's a tie ball game as Jay Bruce comes through. RBIs 37 and 38. 3-3 affair.
Well, look at the strike zone once again. Fastball up, out over the plate a little bit. And when you get that chance to extend the arms, you're able to drive it through the hole. Not hit hard enough for Hop. I didn't really feel like he'd have a play at the plate because Votto runs fairly well out at second base. He was able to score.
And the error hurts the Rockies. The error on Barmes as Phillips reaches. Otherwise, you'd have had one out at the start of the inning. Corey Patterson singled his first time up. Jamie Quirk thought something may be going on.
Well, when you typically have a strike thrower, that's one thing you can't do. You can go ahead and pitch out and not worry about even if you even the count or fall behind a little bit because they'll come right back to the strike zone.
Bruce has a couple of stolen bases. He's 2 of 6. Last couple of outings, George, for Cook, he hasn't had that super sinker. He's had a sinker, but he hasn't had the super sinker where you're getting a lot of chop balls.
Yeah, but a lot of that's the back. I mean, a lot of not the extension out front where you really get a complete follow through and a whip on it. Sometimes if that back's somewhat stiff, grab you at times. Obviously, that's another indication of how difficult it can be for you. And I think that's where Cookie might be at times when he reaches out, tries to really overpower the sinker.
One and two on Corey Patterson. Comebacker, chance for two, low throw, Barmes to first, that's wide. Patterson will run to the bag since he turned into fair territory. He was free game. Aaron Cook went over there. Now, you remember Aaron's last outing, we saw something at least I had never seen before. Jeff Houston was working that ball game as well. He turned, George, I don't know if you saw this, he turned on a double play and Tulowitzki had the coverage and he fired the ball so far to the second base side of Tulowitzki. Tulo had no play. Barmes caught it in stride and threw to first and got the out at first.
Well, that's has a lot to do with the back issues too. But no, I had never seen something like that. No, yeah, I was watching it at home in Tulsa when it did happen. I was like, wow.
And he almost made a bad. Well, he did make a bad throw.
Well,
fortunately, Barmes was able to reach back and catch it.
It was a bad throw at first to Barmes out at second base, which didn't allow them to complete the double play.
And even with Patterson running, and he runs well. On a hard comebacker, you ought to be able to turn two. So Baco's going to hit here. Good range by Baker, and that's all for the Reds in the fourth. But they tie up the baseball game with a little help from the Rockies. It's 3-3, middle of fourth.
Not too close. What do you think? I got that insurance? What insurance is that, Yogi?
Aflac. The one you really need to have. If you don't have it, that's why you need it.
Need what?
Aflac. Well, if you get hurt and miss work, it won't hurt to miss work. And they give you cash, which is just as good as money.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
The most anticipated game of the season is only on FSN Rocky Mountain. The Quest Rocky Mountain Showdown, exclusively on FSN. FSN Rocky Mountain and the Colorado Rockies invite you to live the dream. Got a burning question you'd like to ask Brad Hawk? Log on to coloradorockies.com and tell us what you want to know and why. If your question is chosen, you get to live the dream as our player for the day. You'll receive a Rockies jersey with your name on it, interviews, VIP treatment, and the chance to ask Brad Hawk your question face to face. Log on today and live the dream with the Colorado Rockies and FSN Rocky Mountain.
College football is back. The season kicks off with a special Thursday matchup as Wake Forest takes on Baylor.
What a grab! He's at the 50, the 40.
Then on Saturday, the action continues as Big 12 power Oklahoma State heads west to battle it out with Washington State.
Touchdown!
A great slate of college football begins with a special Thursday game on FSN.
Bottom of the fourth inning, 3-3 at Coors Field. Aflac trivia question comes your way. You see the Aaron Harang jersey here. Well, the Reds, as of last night, are the only team in the major leagues without a complete game. That's because Roy Oswalt went the distance in a loss at Shea Stadium against Johan Santana. That leads me to my question. Tell us the Rockies franchise leader in complete games. Which pitcher? Drew, George, take it away.
All right, Mark, thanks very much. Yorvi Torrealba will lead things off at the bottom of the fourth inning against Edinson Volquez, and the slider's in there for a strike. Torrealba struck out his first time up. Rockies got two in the second. It was a 40-plus pitch inning for Volquez in the second, and they got a run last inning, a one-out double by Atkins. Ian Stewart brought him in with a base hit. This ball in the air to shallow right. Here comes Jay Bruce, and he'll track it down, one out. With one gone, Aaron Cook will come up. Rockies started out slowly at home, and then they played very well at home in the portion of June and July. And then they had the disappointing 3-7 homestand their last extended period at Coors Field. So overall, they're 34-30. At their home ballpark. Last year they won 50+ at Coors Field, and I think, and this goes for any team, not just because the Rockies play at altitude, but if you want to be a postseason team, you better be around that 50-win
Yeah, you
figure.
have to be. Yeah, at home you have to be. You've got to win about 65-70% of your ball games in order to have any opportunity at all to win or contend in your division. Glenn Hurdle knows it, and so do the players, what they have to do to get that Coors Field magic to where they have that dominance in this ballpark.
Ball and 2 strikes. Looking at the Rockies on the road, they're 25-41, though. Over the last 3 weeks, they've played their best road baseball of the campaign, and hopefully that will continue this coming week. They're back in California, 3 against the Giants, a day off Thursday, 3 in San Diego. There's the difference, home and road. And the ERA, George, really pretty similar.
Yeah, at 470 out on the road, it's a little bit better. Home runs per ball game is going to be down on the road.
Strike 3 on Aaron Cook. And let's go back to Mark Stout. get the answer to the trivia question. Mark, I'm going to say...
Yeah, you'll know this.
I'm going to say Astacio.
Yeah, Pedro Astacio. Just kind of wanted to go in a roundabout way and talk about how the Reds don't have a complete game this year. Astacio, 14, the franchise leader, had 7, a single season record back in 1999. You know, and of those complete games, I checked his box scores, only 1 complete game shutout. July 5th, I think 0-1 in San Diego when he shut out the Padres on 3 hits. Aaron Cook just K'd. Cook is the leader this year, by the way. Drew for the Rockies with 2, as you know, and Ubaldo has 1. So the Rockies have 3, the Reds have none.
Houston finally got one last night, sort of. Roy Oswalt matched up with Johan Santana, lost, but he had 8 innings in that ball game, and it was in their park, so or actually it was in Shea, obviously, so it counts as a complete game. 3-3 ball game. Back in a moment.
In celebration of our 100th anniversary,
we're sharing our GM employee discount with everyone.
You pay what we pay.
Not a cent more.
The GM employee discount
for everyone.
Take advantage of the discount and get the 2008 Chevy Malibu with better city fuel economy than Accord and Camry. That's right. Get this 2008 Chevy Malibu LS for around $19,000.
Hey, what time's the game start?
For updates on the score of the Rockies game on FSN Rocky Mountain sent right to your phone, text SMOOTH1 to 44636. Brought to you by Keystone Light. Standard text message rates apply.
You can buff up, clean up, but you can't cover up that bald spot. Instead of hiding it, solve it with Men's Rogaine Foam. In clinical testing, 85% of men regrew hair. Men's Rogaine Foam. Use it or lose it.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Colorado Rockies baseball on FSN is brought to you by Hyundai. Head to your Colorado Hyundai dealers during their dollars and cents sales event for the best value on the road. By Comcast Digital Home Phone Service. Warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 1-800-COMCAST. And by Freeway Ford and Longmont Ford. Proud to be Todd Helton's Ford team. See over 600 new and used cars online at cheaperfords.com. Volquez will lead things off. He grounded to third his first time. We're in a 3-3 ball game. Reds led 1-0 early. Rockies took a 2-1 then 3-1 lead through 3 innings, and then the Reds got 2 runs last inning. And one of those runs unearned. Two of the 3 Rockies runs unearned tonight against Volquez. Well, we haven't checked one of your Fab Fives in a while, George. Who do you like for the Cy Young, as if there's any question right now?
Well, there's not a lot of question right now. I think there's some guys that could become players in the Cy Young deal, and one of those is on the mound. 2 of those guys on the mound here in this ballpark tonight, Aaron Cook and Volquez, both 15-game winners. Right now, I mean, it's Brandon Webb's to lose at 19-4, 274 under run average. This is the one dark horse for me. He's on a very bad ball club, but yet he's striking out a bunch of people. If he could get wins put together, it's going to be a tough play here for Stewart. Nice play, but a tough one.
Yeah, you know, I'm surprised, very quickly, George, to let you get back to your graphic. I'm surprised that Stewart went with a bare hand there with the pitcher running.
Well, but he's a young pitcher, athletic, can run a little bit. He's got decent speed, so I think he was kind of forced into the issue. Dan Aaron is another guy at 14-6, 312 with the Diamondbacks. You can obviously see that when you have this 2-1-2 punch in their rotation, it makes it pretty good. Lincecum's the guy, and then there's another guy out there, and don't fall out of your chair when I say this at home, but Carlos Marmol of the Chicago Cubs, one of those guys. The Cubs would not be, and I know Kerry Wood's closing. I know they got all the starters, Zambrano, Dempster, and all those guys, but the thing is, if they didn't have anybody to carry the 8th the way Marmol has, I'm not sure they'd be where they are.
Yeah, George, you know, he's not going to win it, obviously.
No, he's not.
But I like the point you're making because Marmol has been fabulous and as good an eighth-inning guy as we've seen in a long time. And let's not forget, again, this isn't Cy Young votes, but if you're talking about eighth-inning guys, Taylor Buchholz has been almost right there with Marmol. I want to throw one more name at you, though, Cy Young candidates, because there's more than 30 days left in the season. And Aaron Cook's probably going to get 5 more starts. Cook has a chance to win 20 ball games. CC Sabathia is 8-0. What if he goes, well, honestly, what if he goes 14-0 in the National League?
Well, here's the key. I think if Arizona wins the National League West and Webb goes 22, he's got 19 wins now. If he goes 3-3 over the last span, I mean, he's going to be very difficult, 22, 23 wins. I understand where you're coming with CC and what he's done with Milwaukee, particularly if they get in as a wild card. They're going to be a big threat to deal with Sheets and Sabathia at the top of that rotation.
And they can still catch the Cubs. There's plenty of time. 3-2 on Chris Dickerson, a double and a strikeout.
Well, they're winning tonight. Milwaukee is 6-3 over Pittsburgh.
And I guess Ryan Braun's back's okay. He's hit his 32nd in that ball game. That's fouled off.
Chicago all over Washington, 9-2. Dempster got the win, I think. Only 46. Look at the numbers. A lot of these numbers, out to the side of a score is the starting pitcher. So a lot of times you try to memorize a lot of those guys as you watch it go through, memorize the number.
Ball 4. So a 1-out walk to Dickerson, and Aaron's going to have to deal with his speed. Second walk allowed tonight by Cook.
Tampa Bay 5-3 over the Chicago White Sox. The White Sox obviously a very, very good ball club. Tampa is on fire, to say the least.
Good. They're having to deal with a lot of injuries. They're the best story in baseball for me in 2008. Jeff Keppinger from Parkview High School in the Atlanta metropolitan area. And if that high school sounds familiar, they've cranked out some big-time players through the years. One guy playing right now that comes right to mind is Jeff Francoeur, who the Rockies will see in a couple of weeks when we head to Atlanta.
Arizona jumped out on the Florida Marlins 2-1. That ball game's in the 6th inning. Toronto over Boston 11-0. That's a big win.
Aaron's 87 pitches in, which is an unusually high number for him working in the 5th inning. We've seen Aaron throw complete games with fewer pitches over the last couple of years. 72 and 79. 79 earlier this year.
Struggled a little bit early in the ball game and then got back into it and was able to find the strike zone. Now just missing down with the zone. Yesterday, the Rockies had to go to the bullpen very early. Clint Hurdle staring at about 110 to 120 max for Aaron Cook. The number of pitches thrown. You can see blow open the first, another one back in the 4th. We had 21 pitches. Everything else has been about the average.
2-2. I'll give Glendon Rush a lot of credit. The Rockies may have lost, but he saved the bullpen yesterday, going 3 2/3.
And a couple of opportunities. Clint could have hit for him and not allowed him to hit in the ball game, particularly the second time through when he hit again. But he chose not to do it. Let his pitching stay in the ball game. And it paid off. I mean, it gave the Rockies a chance to win the game as they put 5 on the board against their bullpen.
Double play ball. There's 1. There's 2. That always helps out. Shortens up an inning. Middle of 5. The Reds 3, the Rockies 3.
FSN rounds the bases with Rockies Weekly. At home or on the road, FSN has the week's big stories surrounding Rockies baseball. Rockies Weekly, Sunday night at 10:30 on FSN Rocky Mountain.
Coors Light on tap. Because if you want an ice cold draft, look no further than ice cold frost brewed Coors Light. It's aged cold, filtered cold, and stored cold. Brought to your bar and poured cold. So ask for a draft beer with a taste as cold as the Rockies. Because refreshment isn't everything. It's the only thing. Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Suit up for the 2008 season at your Colorado Rockies dugout store. The official team store has it all for the entire family. 5 Colorado locations to serve you. The Colorado Rockies dugout store. Wear the team.
It's Toyota's National Clearance Event, the perfect time for amazing deals and selection. Now get an 08 4Runner with $2,500 cash back. Or get the fuel-efficient 08 Highlander with low 2.9% APR with $750 cash back. Or get an 08 Sequoia with $4,000 cash back or 0% APR plus $1,000 bonus cash. So don't miss this opportunity to save big at the Toyota National Clearance Event, only at these neighborhood Toyota stores.
Rockies 3 and the Reds 3. The hits are all even. The errors are all even. Something's got to give. Bottom of the 5th inning, Willie Taveras, Matt Holliday, and Brad Hopp. And this season when Matt drives him in, big brothers and big sisters, the beneficiary. $100 for each RBI from Quest, and the season total $7,500. Just one way Quest builds a stronger community. Willie takes a strike from Edinson Volquez.
Yeah, Volquez has settled in a little bit after giving up the 2 runs on the air. It got extended there, almost 20 pitches beyond where he started it. Took almost 60 to get through 2. Excuse me, it was 62 pitches to get through 2 innings, and in the third 9, and then in the fourth just 10.
Yeah, he's actually back online with Aaron Cook.
Yeah, I mean, now you're starting to look at maybe 5-6 innings out of your starting staff, and you righted the ship pretty well.
Tell you what, it's amazing for me. Encarnacion is an adventure throwing the baseball.
A lot of times they change the angles, they flip it under, they stay on top of it, they do what they can do. But you know, a lot of times I think it's like a pitcher in his delivery. The more you consistent arm slot, consistent delivery, then it's going to be a consistent result.
Here's Holliday with a 1 out. Matt a strikeout and a ground ball to second. Last at bat came with the bases loaded. And the fastball at 97 miles an hour on the outside corner.
And the velocity and arm strength still showing up on the 85th pitch of the game. Remember when he was up before with men on base, it was all change-ups, change-up, change-up. Got Holliday to reach on the last pitch and hit the ground ball out to second base. Starting him out with some dead red there. It's not going to feel good.
Well,
another one at 96.
But it had movement coming back in on him.
Well, he'll do that. I mean, if he gets off to the side of the ball, a lot like Ubaldo Jimenez, he'll work off that horseshoe and have it on the inside of the fingers versus on the backside. When you do that, you pronate a little bit, you create a lot of movement.
And we'll see Ubaldo tomorrow, looking for his 10th win against Johnny Cueto. Getaway day for the Rockies and the Reds. Reds go to Houston next. As we mentioned, the Rockies will be in Northern California to take on the Giants. Here's the 0-2. Slowly hit out in front of the plate. Baco throws to first. And he gets Matt Holliday by a step. 2 outs. It's the countdown to the Quest Rocky Mountain Showdown. The annual battle between the Buffs and the Rams returns to FSN Sunday on the 31st at 5 p.m. 2 great schools, 1 great rivalry. The Quest Rocky Mountain Showdown only on FSN. And if tradition holds true, this one will go down to the final snap like all the rest of them seem to. A Buffs fan, is it that dark still, or gentlemen? like you, George. Got to wear the shades at night, right?
That's not me. I can't see with glasses on during the day. Why would I darken it up at night? And try to see. Maybe he's taking a little cat nap in the middle of the game. Don't want anybody to know it.
That could be. This ball's hit hard. Keppinger was up the middle, so he had to backhand it. And you're right. Volquez has settled in nicely. That was a 7-pitch inning.
Ding! You are now free to enjoy your flight.
And how little you paid for it.
Ding! You're now free to have a frequent flyer program you can actually use.
Ding! Ding!
Ding! You are now free to find a low fare anytime you need one.
Free to sit in any seat in the cabin.
Ding!
Ding! Ding!
You are now free to enjoy flying again.
At Southwest, we're loving life in Denver. That's why you're free to fly nonstop from Denver to Fort Lauderdale, New Orleans, or Sacramento for just $89 to $129 one way.
You are now free to move about the country.
Real sports talk.
79 pitches through his 61st pitch in the 7th inning. Just efficiency all the way around.
Real analysis.
That leads me to believe that, boy, that sinker is really working tonight.
Real thoughts.
We're going there and tell the boys are hungover.
Real drama.
You know, I was really wrestling with my work. I was a baseball player.
From the field to the clubhouse. Get the real story on FSN Live.
This ball's jacked deep left field, way back.
This one for Todd.
Trying to bounce out, makes a miss, dives, he's in. Wow. Touchdown, Colorado.
2-on-1 shot, he scores! And it's 1-0 Pioneers.
He'll get the last shot. Got it! The Jazz win in overtime.
FSN, celebrating 20 years of sports coverage in the Rocky Mountain region.
Coors Field, still 3-3 here as we go to the top 6. XL Energy fun fact has to do with, to me, one of the most exciting players I've ever seen. Reds Hall of Famer Eric Davis, who's on the bench with the team. Dusty Baker invited him along as a special guest/coach. He was in Chicago, thought he wouldn't come to Colorado, as Phillips lines one up the middle for another hit. But he did make it here. And Eric Davis is an interesting guy. When you go back and you look at his career, I don't know if people know or not, but he debuted as a pinch hitter in St. Louis without a number or a name on his jersey because he was in Oklahoma City, got the call up at 2 a.m. on a Friday night, got in on a Saturday, didn't have a road jersey for him. So he wore a jersey without a number or a name. And I don't know what the rules are in terms of the big leagues. Maybe you do, Drew and George, but that's an interesting thing about Eric Davis, who is in the Reds Hall of Fame and on the bench now.
Well, there's always that chance for a special exemption that one day until you could get it on.
Somebody for the Twins last night, they, in their haste to put the Minnesota on the jersey,
spelled it wrong.
It was Minnesota last night. He was playing. He was playing for the Minnesota Twins.
Are they in the
Did you play for them, George?
Are they in the Northwest
You've been lying to me that whole time. You told me you played in the World Series.
Minnesota Twins? No, sorry, it's Minnesota.
87.
Minnesota. Yeah.
Oh.
Wish my boys were still up there. I'd call Jimmy Wiesner up and just get him. Used to be the equipment guy when I was there.
2-0 on Votto. Ground ball through the hole. That almost hit Phillips. Phillips going to go first to third. And now Aaron Cook is in one of those situations. Back-to-back hits, nobody out. 3-3 ball game in the 6th. Edwin Encarnacion coming up.
Well, the ball just shot through the hole when you're holding the runner on again, and it just obviously widens that hole up. Able to shoot it through the right side. 3rd hit of the ball game for him.
Luis Vizcaíno. How about Joey Votto? 3 hits in Chicago on Thursday, excuse me. 3 hits last night against the Rockies. 3 hits tonight against the Rockies and Aaron Cook. that a good little run?
That's not a bad run at all, is it? Well, the middle of their order, 3 and 4 for 6 tonight.
Got a nice swing.
Jay Bruce with a couple of RBIs. He's in the on-deck circle. 3 and 4 hold.
What you'd like here is a punch out and a double play ball. But it's 2-0 on Encarnacion, who lined into a double play and grounded to third.
Well, the Rockies feel like with a little bit of confidence they gained against the bullpen last night. Volquez's pitch counts up. With nobody out, they leave the middle of the infield back with the runner at third base. Try to flip the 2 if it's hit on a corner. Try to hold the runner and then make the play. I feel like with Volquez's pitch count up so high, Dusty's going to have to go to that bullpen fairly quick.
At the knees. What kind of voice does Jim Joyce have at the end of the night?
Not so much at the end of the night. How about a couple of days after this? That's why he gets 3 days off in between.
And that is through, a base hit. And the Reds have taken the lead on 3 straight singles in the 6th. 4-3. And Clint Hurdle is on his way to the mound. Second straight ball game that Aaron Cook's going to go 5 innings and give way to the bullpen. Last time it was on the plus side. Right now he departs down 4-3.
Holiday, did you touch that?
Oh, I think you touched it.
Oh, yeah. You touched it, Matty. We all saw it, didn't we, Matt?
Yeah, definitely.
Did you? Did you touch that?
Yeah, I touched it.
No.
The tag by Barrett, he dropped the ball. Holiday is in. The Rockies are going to the playoffs.
It's Toyota's National Clearance Event, the perfect time for amazing deals and selection. Now get the best-selling car in America, the 09 Camry for $199 a month, or get $500 cash back on the 08 RAV4. Get the 2008 Motor Trend Truck of the Year, the Toyota Tundra, with $5,000 cash back, or get 0% APR for 60 months plus $1,000 bonus cash. So don't miss this opportunity to save big at the Toyota National Clearance Event, only at these neighborhood Toyota stores.
That old car in your driveway might be worth more than you think. Maybe enough to help change a kid's life. Donate your old car to Big Brothers Big Sisters. And not only will you get a free tow and a tax break, you'll also help change a kid's life.
For more information, call 303-433-3666. And for a great deal on your next car or truck, visit cheaperfords.com, where an 08 Focus or Ranger is just $10,900.
Donate your car and help change a kid's life. It's worth it.
We're so fired. Relax. We'll give him the new fajita steak and jalapeno chicken melts.
Melts? That's your plan?
Here's where we spent most of our budget. Short-term investments, team-building exercises, company car, recruiting, and the off-site in St. Bart's. Any questions?
Get lost in melty cheese. Taco Bell's new fajita steak melt and chicken melt. Think outside the bun.
Joey Votto is aboard. Edwin Encarnacion is aboard. Encarnacion with a base hit to drive in Brandon Phillips a moment ago. And that knocked Aaron Cook out of the ball game. It's 4-3 Cincinnati. Jay Bruce will come up to face Luis Vizcaino. Tonight's call to the pen is brought to you by Comcast Digital Home Phone Service. Warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 1-800-COMCAST.
Well, if you're ever looking for a punch out, it's right now. You'd like to get one here and then maybe try to flip the double play ball that Drew talked about. It's going to be difficult. 2 left-handers. And 2 guys that have played prominent, particularly Bruce in this ball game with a 2 RBI single earlier. Here's the overall numbers. They continue to get a lot better. 34 innings, 34 punch outs, 12 walks. Obviously the health issues early on for Vizcaino, and feeling much better, and the results are much better.
Bruce got a slider to begin. And now Vizcaino's got to call Torey Alba out to the mound.
And I want to make sure that they're on the same page. Hey, if you want to suit up for the official online shop of the Colorado Rockies at ColoradoRockies.com, go ahead and do that. You'll find all the needs for baseball fans that you'd ever want in a lifetime. Visit us online at the largest selection of MLB gear on the internet. So shop the ColoradoRockies.com shop.
George, is that changing signs, or is that they couldn't agree on what to throw?
Well, a lot of times a pitcher has in his mind of where he wants to go, and I'm a big believer in this. If you don't have it in your heart of hearts that you want to throw the slider and they want to throw fastball away, the effort should be there in that fastball, but you're thinking in your mind, you're second guessing yourself for agreeing to the fastball instead of saying, I want to throw the hard slider here. That's what I had down in the bullpen when I came in. That's what I felt comfortable throwing. And that's the pitch I want to stay with. That's the pitch they've gone to 2 times in a row, and they got the punch out.
Yeah, that's the pitch they went to, and they got the punch out on Jay Bruce. 1 out. That'll bring up Corey Patterson.
You know, it may be that he can't handle a fastball here, but he showed here that slider gave some difficulty at 82 as you look on the strike zone of where that pitch was. A little bit up, but yet enough on the strike zone. It did a little damage.
Patterson 1 for 2. He had a single on a 1-2 pitch in the second inning against Aaron Cook. 2 Reds on base, 4-3. That's on the corner. Rockies bullpen on the road trip just outstanding. 19 innings of work. They allowed 1 run. Vizcaino gave up that 1 run. It was on a home run. That was it. And coupled with solid starting pitching, the Rockies went 5-1. Patterson fouls it back. So Corey's behind 0-2. Swung on and missed. Vizcaino strikes out Patterson after punching out Bruce. 2 outs, and here comes Paul Bacco.
Slider again. That's a little more velocity on it at 84 miles an hour. You see that late bite up on top of the baseball, driving down, good angles to the plate to create the down movement, not a flat movement into the bat of a left-hander.
Bacco fly ball left field and a ground ball to second. Votto's at second and Encarnacion at first. Outfield pretty shallow in center and left for Bacco. George, you were talking about a pitcher coming out of the bullpen feeling like, you know what, I got a really good X tonight. Well, the X for Luis Vizcaino tonight is he has a really good slider.
Well, a big thing too, coming out of the bullpen, you're able to pound the strike zone. 7 of 8 pitches have been for strikes.
And he throws the heater, 93 miles an hour. Now 8 of 9 pitches in the strike zone, and he's got Bacco on the defensive. It's 0-2.
Now, a huge strikeout here. Obviously, you hold the game to 1 run. But the other side of that, you jump that offense confidence to come in and swing the bats a little bit. Shut down that momentum of the other ball club.
Bacco check swing foul ball. A reminder, catch Rockies Weekly every Sunday at 10:30 in the evening. good Saturday night crowd at the ballpark.
Yeah, good crowd last night. 30,000 with the Broncos playing. Still had 30,000 plus showing up here. That was nice. Aaron Cook, all you can do when that reliever comes in is keep your fingers crossed and hope they get the out.
Well, Aaron Cook, big part of the offense tonight, laying down a bunt, not a sac bunt. He was bunting for a hit, and he got a hit on it. And then Baco fielded the ball, threw it down the right field line, and 2 runs scored. First 2 for the Rockies tonight. Swung on it, Nick. What a job by Luis Vizcaino. And one of the first guys to greet him will be Aaron Cook. He comes in with 2 on and nobody out, and he strikes out Bruce, Patterson, and Baca in succession. The Reds by a run.
Linda writes, I chose Money Tree because I heard good things about you from friends, and they were right. Thanks, Linda. Customers love our service. They tell us how much they appreciate our loans when they need cash before payday. We also cash any type of check and offer free money orders with every loan or check cashing transaction. It's no wonder so many busy people recommend Money Tree to their friends.
Always use short-term credit responsibly.
Check cashing, payday loans, and more. Money Tree.
These solar panels will produce 14,000 kilowatt hours of energy, enough to run the Rockpile LED board at Coors Field for 1 year. Join the Colorado Rockies in saving energy and visit accelenergy.com to learn how you can benefit from solar. Hi, Drew Goodman for Shortline Subaru. If you're in the midst of looking for a new car, listen to this. Head on down to Shortline Subaru, ranked one of the top 10 Subaru dealers in the nation. They're not your typical car guys, and I promise you, you'll notice what I'm talking about as soon as you walk through the doors.
In celebration of our 100th anniversary,
we're sharing our GM employee discount with everyone.
You pay what we pay.
Not a cent more.
The GM employee discount.
For everyone.
Take advantage of the discount and get the 2008 Chevy Silverado with better available V8 fuel economy than Tundra and F-150. That's right. Get this 2008 Silverado half-ton for around $20,500 after all offers.
Welcome back to the 6th inning. Time for the Coors Light Freeze Cam. Aaron Cook crossing everybody up, laying down a drag bunt that not only went for a hit, but when Paul Baco threw it down the right field line, 2 runs would score. The Rockies took at that time a 2-1 lead. Now it's a Frostbrewed Coors Light Freeze Cam. And the Rockies have to battle back again. They're down 4-3, bottom of the 6th inning. Garrett Atkins, Ian Stewart, Jeff Baker to face Edinson Volquez, who has retired his last 7.
And how about Vizcaino? Man, oh man, 3 punch outs, nobody out. That's runner in scoring position. You can't ask for anything better than what he put on.
No, that maybe, I don't even think maybe needs to be used in a sense. That was the best inning given the situation Vizcaino's thrown all year. Slider for a strike. Atkins a double his last time up. Scored a run.
Yeah, Vizcaino too. What impressed me is the way he pounded the strike zone. 11 of 12 pitches for strikes. A lot of those secondary pitches, sliders, were for strikes.
Volquez misses with the slider. One of the things that's so impressive about Volquez's numbers, 15-5, 273. That's great anywhere, but he pitches half his games in Cincinnati. There's a base hit with a tying runs on. Second hit of the night for Atkins. I mean, it's hard to keep teams down in Cincinnati.
Well, it really is because of the long ball. That's the one thing that jumps out at you. So what happens there? His velocity's still there, though. He showed that in the last inning, and then when he had a little bit of troubles, he worked up into this 89th pitch of the game with 95 miles an hour.
He's got a tough customer right now in Ian Stewart. Did you know that Chevy has 8 models that get an EPA estimated 30 mpg highway or better? Chevy made for Colorado. Stewart, an RBI single in the 3rd. He walked in the 2nd. Make a mistake to this young man, and it'll be 5-4 Colorado in a blink.
changeup. Went slider, changeup.
But at 85 miles an hour, just 3 miles under the average of fastball at the big leagues with a tremendous amount of movement. A lot of his body language on release point of the baseball sells the pitch also at the plate. Tells you a 100-mile-an-hour fastball is coming. It's not. It's that nasty changeup.
That was a show-me pitch.
Well, a lot of times, though, with Stewart, the way he crowds the plate, it's right on top of it. So the balls appear like they're going to be way inside on him, whereas they're not that far inside. You can see his approach. I mean, he's right here on the batter's box line. So anytime you get a ball that makes this kind of an action to the plate, you're going to see him have a lot of body movement.
And a bouncer to Votto. There's one to Volquez. And that gets past him, but it hits the fence and comes right back. So it's a force out. 1 out. Stewart's at first.
Well, again, this is one of the most difficult plays, folks, to make because of the moving target. Volquez trying to get there as quick as he can. And as a shortstop, I mean, you're taught, throw the ball right over the top of the bag, and you can see that ball was far into the outfield side of the bag, so it made it more difficult for Volquez to catch. Now, if he does throw it over the top of the bag, I think you probably complete the double play. They just didn't do it properly.
Jeff Baker, a walk, a run scored, and a 6-4-3 double play. Outfield straight up for Baker. Infield set for 2.
I got to tell you how much he's reduced his pitch count down. He threw those 45 pitches we talked about in the second inning. The other 5, including this one, he's thrown a total of 53 pitches. So we got back to that National League average of between 12 and 14 pitches per inning.
And depending on what happens here, he has a chance to continue on, but we'll see. 2-0. That's pitch number 99.
There's nobody throwing down in their bullpen at all. Manny Corpus has started throwing the Rockies bullpen.
Now he's set to lead off next inning.
Dusty, you see him start to scratch the chin, thinking a little bit, going around to talk to Dick Pohl, his pitching coach. There's the pitch count we're talking about. Very short in the third, 9, and then 10 in the fourth, 8 in the fifth, and then 10 so far here in the sixth. 99 total.
Baker with a 2-0 count. That's the first time on a 2-0 pitch he's thrown him a fastball tonight. It wasn't close. 3-0. Torrealba on deck. Beyond that, perhaps Seth Smith, perhaps Scott Besednik. We'll see.
More and more of what has impressed as you continue to get numbers given to me. I mean, it's the first 3 ball count he's had since the second inning. Man. Arizona on top 4-1 now over Florida. The ball game's in the 8th.
Line drive, foul. Tulowitzki not getting the start tonight at short. He has a bat. Jordan's had that with him for a while. There's Podsednik with the helmet on. You're going to go with a left-handed bat. 2 doors down. Clint likes to save Smith for late in the ball game. This is just the 6th inning. There goes the runner, swung on and missed. Stewart will get the bag at second.
I think they called batter's interference, Drew, and they're going to call Stewart out at second base. Jim Joyce at the plate, pointed down, and he called the out, and then he pointed down to second base and called the out there also.
Wow. Are you kidding me? I got to see that one again. I didn't think he interfered. Let's watch.
Here it is. Here's the swing out front, and then what had happened with Stewart as he came up. Oh, the bat got him.
Yeah, that's
bat
why.
got him right in the chest.
Why.
Jim Joyce called it.
But you know what? He had lost the ball before that. But bat made contact. 2 outs on 1 swing.
Hey, Drew Goodman here from my friends at AMCO. If your car is making strange noises, take it to the experts at AMCO. They'll fix it right for less and back it with their nationwide warranty. Whether it's your transmission, engine, or even your brakes, you've got a guy for all your car care needs.
The Cardiac and Vascular Institute at Exemplis St. Joseph Hospital provides comprehensive cardiac care that is leading the nation in heart surgery outcomes. Your family is your priority. They're ours too. Visit stjosephheart.org.
I'm Tim Neverett, just 1 in a billion on FSN Live.
Only FSN can bring you one-of-a-kind reports like this.
Do we have a purpose? To win the gold medal. To win the gold medal, that's our only purpose.
The 1 in a billion report, only on FSN Live.
Baseball's golden age. See legendary heroes in a rare collection of footage that brings America's pastime to life like never before. It's an all-new episode. The Dynasty begins Sunday on FSN.
The Broncos are back on the gridiron. Big hits. Big plays. Preparing for the start of another big season. Packers, Broncos, Sunday at 3.
Colorado Rockies baseball on FSN is brought to you by Shortline Subaru on Havana in Aurora. They want to be your Subaru dealer. And by Wells Fargo, get an exclusive 2-for-1 Rocky Mountain Pass to Copper and Winter Park when you open a new college combo. Now Dusty Baker will go to his bench. Andy Phillips is going to pinch hit. For Edinson Volquez here in the 7th inning. Pretty shot of our state capital. Big week for the city of Denver and the state of Colorado. The nation's attention will be on our great town over the next several days with the Democratic National Convention beginning officially tomorrow. Vizcaíno's 2nd inning of work, and he's down low, ball 1 on Andy Phillips. And last inning, George, for the Rockies, offensively started with some promise with the leadoff hit.
Well, it really did. I mean, the Rockies had that opportunity. Then the batter's interference with the throw down to second base. That's what the out call there started everything. Shut an inning down very, very quickly. Well, move on. You got to go to the 7th inning and start to get after some of these guys. And again, once you get to their bullpen, which it's going to happen this next inning. Rockies scored 5 runs against the bullpen last night.
3-0. Mike Lincoln.
Boy, what a great story that is. And nominated for Comeback Player of the Year in the National League. Set out 3 years with a Tommy John surgery before he got back to the big leagues.
That's a lot of time rehabbing. And wondering, would he ever have a chance again?
3-2. Cubs won today 9-2. Ryan Dempster now 15-5. Odalis Perez took the loss for Washington. Aramis Ramirez, a couple of home runs. He's got 22. Mark DeRosa's had a good year for Chicago again. He's got 17 homers. St. Louis lost at home to Atlanta 8-4. Carlisle over McClellan. Albert Pujols in the loss. His 27th home run. Philadelphia beat up the Dodgers 9-2. Hamels over Kershaw. Russell Martin his 12th in defeat. Pat Burrell 5 RBIs, including his 30th home run. Giants beat San Diego in San Francisco 4-3. It was Zito winning for the 8th time against 15 losses. Mike Adams took the loss. Brian Wilson his 34th save. No home runs. On the ground is short. Windshield chipped or cracked. Don't wait. Call Colorado's #1 team, Elite Safelite Auto Glass, 303-287-5000, or visit them online at safelite.com. Chris Dickerson will come up. Dickerson is 1 for 2 and a walk. Milwaukee beat Pittsburgh 6-3. They're now 20 games over 500. Jeff Supine got the win there. Gorzolani back up with the Pirates, took the loss. Solomon Torres, the former Pirate, got his 25th save. One of the LaRoches, George, because it's a LaRoche, Adam and Andy, right? One of them hit a home run at 17.
Well, see, really?
Yeah.
Where's the box score? Go to that part.
I'm going to have to check that out. Ryan Braun had 3 RBIs, including his 32nd home run. Houston went to Shea Stadium, beat the Mets 8-3. Lance Berkman is 26th. David Newhand hit his first of the year. Brian Schneider homered again for the Mets, his 6th. And Arizona in the bottom of the 8th, leading 5-1 at home over Florida. Young is 18th, Montero his 4th, Hanley Ramirez is 28th. This ball is gone. Chris Dickerson, his 2nd home run. And there was little doubt about that one. It's 5-3.
You can see why he continues to impress an awful lot. This young kid's come up and made a pretty good mark in the mind of Dusty Baker about playing at the big league level. A double earlier in the ball game. He struck out, walked, and then now this home run in the 7th inning to right field to expand this ball game by 2 runs, 5-3.
Second deck shot. Jeff Keppinger, strike 1. American League tonight, Toronto shut out Boston 11-0. Vernon Wells a couple of home runs. Marco Scudero hit a home run. Litch over Leicester. Tampa won 5-3 tonight, despite a couple of home runs from Jermaine Dye. That pitch misses, 1-1. Yankees won 5-3. Giambi is 25th. Hideki Matsui hit a home run as well.
Who got the win in that ball game?
Let you know in a moment. Swung on and missed. It's 1-2. Pavano. Carl Pavano.
First start, that's right.
Went 5 innings, 3 runs, 7 hits, struck out 5, walked 1. Got bullpen help. Mariano Rivera, his 30th save. Here's the 1-2 upstairs, 2-2.
Now Pavano making his first start in what, 3 years now? 2 years at least.
Couple years.
The Yankees gave him a big contract to try to come in and be a part of after he had that success with Florida.
Here's the 2-2 with 1 out. 5-3 Cincinnati in the 7th. And Keppinger fights it off. Detroit shut out Kansas City at Kauffman Stadium 4-0. Minor over Davies. Miguel Cabrera his 28th. Texas and Cleveland tied at 1. They're in the 4th. Angels in the 4th, leading Minnesota 4-1.
And no score early. Seattle hosting Oakland. 2-2. Strike 3. Fourth strikeout since Vizcaíno's come aboard. That'll bring up Brandon Phillips. Phillips had a good night. Scored a couple runs. He's 1 for 3 officially. Homered in last night's ball game. On the ground to third. Stewart. Long throw. And that is all for the Reds. In the inning, Chris Dickerson hit a second deck shot to right. The Reds now lead at 5-3.
The Broncos are back on the gridiron. Big hits. Big plays. Preparing for the start of another big season. Packers, Broncos, Sunday at 3.
Growing a business takes time. But if you're distracted with little problems, you're not focused on the big picture. Quest provides integrated voice, data, and network solutions, giving you time back to make sure your business can reach its potential. Get Quest. Get nimble.
2 Molson Canadians?
You got it.
Man, that's a good beer.
Lots of flavor.
Yeah, but it goes down easy.
It's from Canada. It is beautiful up there.
Well, it's like a postcard.
Good people, too.
Yeah, just good people living in that beautiful landscape, making this incredibly tasty beer.
That's poetic. Pass the peanuts?
Yeah.
With a big taste and a nice finish. Molson Canadian, an honest brew.
Dex. Tri-Valley Towing. Bonded, insured, and fast response. 555-1900.
24 hours?
Yep.
Hi, I'm stranded on Route 80 south of the Exchange. What's the driver's name? Oh, where should they take it?
Sergeant's Motor Repair is close by. They have free loaner cars.
You're my hero, Dex.
Really? Then who's Tony?
Dex Plus, the most complete local info. Convenient and ready to go. Dex knows.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Colorado Rockies and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Colorado Rockies and Major League Baseball.
5-3 Cincinnati. The Rockies trailed by a couple of runs bottom of the 7th, and they hope to duplicate what they did last night against the Cincinnati Pen. They were shut out by Aaron Harang last night for 6 innings, and they got 5 runs in the last 3 innings against the Reds bullpen. Tonight, Mike Lincoln will be the first out of the pen for the Reds in relief of Edinson Volquez. Volquez on the plus side. Aaron Cook right now has the hook.
Yeah, he does. 51 strikeouts, 60 2/3. He's only walked 18, 4-1 overall record for Mr. Lincoln. Mike Lincoln, as we mentioned earlier, one of the nominees, I should say, for Comeback Player of the Year. Guy that set out 3 years before coming back from Tommy John surgery. He's been the winning side late in ball games, 7th, 8th, and 9th inning for Dusty Baker.
The line on Volquez, 6 innings. He allowed 3 runs, only 1 of which was earned. 6 hits, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. Torrealba takes ball 1. Scott Podsednik's in the on-deck circle. 8-9-1 for the Rockies. Last night, the Rockies had 14 hits. And there is a base hit for Yorvi Torrealba. Nice little start to the 7th. They had 14 hits, and 9 of the hits came in the last 3 innings. You can read all about the Rockies in Major League Baseball in Tracy Ringolsby's column in the Rocky Mountain News. Can't read it tomorrow because there is no paper tomorrow, but you can read it online at RockyMountainNews.com. 1 ball, no strikes on Scott.
Well, not a lot of history because of Lincoln being out of the game for quite a while, but he has faced Besednik, who's 0 for 2 against Lincoln. Torrealba now 1 for 2.
Scott came off the DL yesterday. Got a base hit in his first at bat after sitting out almost 3 weeks. And he watched that one all the way to the glove. It's down low, 3-0. So he'll be taken right here. And this should be a base hit also. Nope, what a catch in center field by Corey Patterson. I didn't think he could get there.
Well, I didn't either. I really thought that ball would drop, and then it would be up to Dickerson to get the backside help in order to get the ball in. I mean, it was a nice job of this back control by Besednik on a pitch away from him, just trying to lift it over short, dump it out into the outfield for a base hit. But very, very hustling. I mean, very good play by Corey Patterson in center field to get Besednik.
Remember that play. Instead of 2 on and nobody out, runner at first, and Barmes with 1 out steps up. Man, Joyce is so loud you have to put in earplugs if you're the catcher.
Turn around and ask him, can you calm down for like a half inning?
Here's a base hit to left center field. Now the Rockies getting quality hacks against Mike Lincoln. First and second for Willie Taveras.
Well, they have the right-hander and the left-hander. Looked like Bray going down in the bullpen for the Cincinnati Reds. So right now you just try to buy a little bit of time and get in a situation you think you could be in. Massett, the right-hander.
Well, if Willie puts the bunt down, he'll probably, if he's successful, and there's an out at first, they'd pass on Holiday, and that's why you need the lefty for Hop. Willie wasn't bunting there, and the pitch is high.
Well, Hop versus Bray 0 for 4 in his career. If you're able to get that far down the line, Holiday's 1 for 3 against him. Holiday has not seen Lincoln in his career.
This ball ripped through the hole with base hit. Torrealba will get the stop sign. Bases are loaded for Holiday. Third time in the last 2 ball games, Matt has come up with the bases full.
Third baseman Encarnacion drawn in. That helps this out up in the strike zone. Not a strike. He was able to hit. You see Encarnacion's 2 to 3 steps in on the grass to onto the bunt of Willie Taveras. And he just drives the ball right by him to load the bases with only 1 out. And Lincoln's, whose pitches have been up in the strike zone, typically he is a ground ball type pitcher.
Here comes Dusty.
Dusty going to go down, and he's going to get Massett and bring him in here.
Yeah, he may go 1 for 1, George. I mean, he may go Massett here and then Bray right behind him.
Massett has never faced Matt Holliday in his career.
(5-3). Rockies threatening though.
It's a real Cinderella story.
She comes out of nowhere, and it's like boom.
Hit after hit.
Are you at a loss for words, Josh?
What do you mean she's going to change TV forever? Well, find out.
One man wants to know the truth.
Put her
in every home on the planet.
Who is Scarlet? The real Scarlet.
The evidence is staring you in the face.
Scarlet!
Things aren't always what they seem. Scarlet, the new series of TVs from LG.
My boy loves motorcycles, just like his dad. First things first, motorcycle safety. When I got hit, at least I knew who to call. The Law Tigers. Here it is. This card is as important as his safety gear. I've been carrying a Law Tigers card for years, and I want him to have one too. With the Law Tigers, you never ride alone. Get your free biker benefit card at your favorite motorcycle shop or online at lawtigers.com. America's injury lawyers who ride.
Doug?
Christy.
I thought you were taking care of your grandma this weekend.
I am. We are.
The Keystone Light?
For Grandma.
And all that?
For Grandma.
And the motorized cooler?
For Grandma.
You can't always be smooth, but your beer should be. Brewed for a smooth taste that's never bitter. Keystone Light is always smooth, even when you're not.
And the 6-foot party sub? For Grandma.
Yes. Grandma. Yeah.
5-3 Cincinnati. 9 hits apiece. Each team has committed 1 error. Matt Holliday will come up with the bases loaded and 1 out. And he'll face Nick Massett. Tonight's game is sponsored by Fidelity Investments. Visit a representative today in Denver, Broomfield, or Lone Tree. You don't often get 3 opportunities over 2 days to hit with the bases loaded. Holliday close to a .400 career average in these situations. The last 2 days, he's 0 for 2. The only out, a diving catch by Corey Patterson, robbing Scott Podsednik. Here we go. And Matt drives one high in deep right field. Way back and off the wall. 2 runs will score. It's a track meet. Tavares chasing Barber's to clear the plate. They don't score. Highway to third. Rockies lead it 6-5. You can't keep a good man down very long. That looked like the 4x100 Olympic relay.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. I mean, Barmer's coming around third base, look back thinking, uh-oh, I got to get it going here. Willie Tavares right on the backside as you look at this pitch, up and out of the strike zone at 96 miles an hour. Holliday dumps it down into the right field corner, and then it's off to the races. I mean, Gallegos saying, I want to send Barmes. Well, you may as well go with him. And the double slide, and you can see the fist pumps and the excitement out of Torrey Alba and the high fives in the dugout as the Rockies take a 6-5 lead.
That was fun to watch. You had a head first slide, a feet first slide, safe. Double 3 ribbies, Matt to third on the throw. And that pitch in there. Strike.
They can. There's a little slide. There's the hand, and then get the hand out of the way because Willie's coming feet first.
It's not often, George, you see a guy head first slide and he gets spiked in the back by his teammate.
Man, oh man.
How about Holliday? You said a moment ago he's never seen Nick Massett. He could care less. Figures he's got to get a heater first pitch, and he drives it the other way. There's a big ribby on third base right now for Brad Hopp. Behind 1 and 2. Give the Rockies a 2-run cushion. Taylor Buchholz starting to heat up in the Rockies' pen.
Matt Holliday 78 RBIs, ties Garrett Atkins for a team lead of 78. Holliday leads in home runs with 24. Buchholz hiding behind the bushes, starting to get loose. Come on to pitch the 8th inning.
Breaking pitch way inside. 3-2 on Hop with the infield in. Rockies have 3 players with a legitimate chance at 100 RBIs again. Holiday, Hop, and Atkins. And this ball's tagged deep right field. Get up and get out! Over top of the wall. Hop to second. Overslid, and he's out. The run scores. It is 7-5. It is a... See if they got him safe. It may be it's going to be a single. So Brad Hop with his 74th RBI.
And almost out of the yard, too. Fastball up at 94 miles an hour. And you can see that yellow line across the top of the scoreboard. The ball appeared to hit a little below that and then ricochet down. And Hop trying to avoid the tag. And a big body, just unfortunately, the momentum took him past the bag and able to tag him out. But he does pick up RBI 74 and expand this lead to 2.
Rockies with a 4 spot here in the 7th to go up a couple of runs. Middle of the order, quiet last night, exploding here this evening against that Reds bullpen. So Volquez will get a no decision. Aaron Cook has spit the bit, and Luis Vizcaino a chance to get a W.
How about what the Rockies have done to this bullpen? 9 runs scored in the last 2 nights against the Reds bullpen. Matt Holliday with the big blow, the double down the right field line. Picked up RBIs 78 on the season now. 2 high fives also with Hop coming up with a big base hit.
George, how about this? Last night, the middle 3 in the order were collective 0 for 9 against Aaron Harang, and then they got some stuff going against the Reds bullpen. Tonight, against Edison Volquez, Holiday, Hop, Atkins, Holiday and Hop were 0 for 6. Atkins had a couple of hits. But again, the middle of the order didn't get much going against Volquez tonight.
2 for 9.
Bullpen comes in, and they blow him up.
Blow him up in a heartbeat. The 3 base hits off of Lincoln, and then all of a sudden he gets painted up by Masson in a big way.
Here's Ian Stewart. Well, the Rockies have 7 runs on the board again. So tomorrow, fans, go to your Colorado Taco Bell locales between 4 and 6 in the afternoon. Dinner's on Taco Bell. 4 tacos for $1. Only 1 order per customer. 2-0.
I think it could be a little bit worse, too. And I say what it could have, should. I know that comes out. But how about the play Corey Patterson made off the center?
Yep, you're right. Rockies 5 hits and a walk in the inning. And the 2 outs that have been recorded, the diving catch by Patterson, George was alluding to, and Brad Hop oversliding second base on the bullet off the top of the right field wall. On the corner, 2-1. Stewart tonight, after a 4-hit ball game yesterday. A walk, an RBI single, and he reached on a fielder's choice in the 6th. He does have a buggy whip of a swing, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. When it all gets timed right, that's when you see the big results happen.
Bassett able to strike out Stewart, but what an inning for the Rockies. The 7th, standing ovation from the crowd. Bases loaded, double, clearing them for Matt Holliday to give the Rockies a lead. Hop would tack on another ribby, 7-5, Colorado.
Ah, yes, the Geico Gecko in migration, driven by primal instinct to help people save hundreds of dollars on their car insurance.
Hey, do you see that guy over there? He's giving me the heebie-jeebies. Gotta be kidding me.
Oh. What a clever creature.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Coors Light on tap. Because if you want an ice cold draft, look no further than ice cold frost brewed Coors Light. It's aged cold, filtered cold, and stored cold. Brought to your bar and poured cold. So ask for a draft beer with a taste as cold as the Rockies. Because refreshment isn't everything. It's the only thing. Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
The Great Colorado Payback, reuniting you with your money. I'm State Treasurer Carrie Kennedy. To find out if you have unclaimed funds, log on to our website or call 1-800-825-2111.
I need your help. I need to be a career 320 hitter. I need the secret to winning 3 Gold Gloves.
I need to top 300 home runs.
Consider it done.
Huh?
Consider it done.
That ball is going to be sleeping with the fishes.
Rockies have made a couple of changes. Troy Tulowitzki's now in at shortstop. Clint Barmas slides from short to second. Jeff Baker has come out of the ball game, and the new pitcher is Taylor Buchholz.
Yeah, the normal 8th inning guy for the Rockies.
Comcast call to the bullpen, brought to you by Comcast. Call 1-800-COMCAST.
So here goes Taylor Buchholz. He'll have to attack the very heart of this order. It's typical of the 8th inning guy with the game on the line. That you do that with a 2-run lead. He's got Joey Votto, then he's got Encarnacion, and then he's got to deal with Bruce.
Votto, a 3-hit night. He hits this a long way to left. Holiday, though, in front of the wall by a stride or two, makes the catch. 1 out. Telling you, that kid's got a nice future, George.
The Holiday kid?
Well, he's got a nice present, too, and a nice future.
Oh,
the Votto kid's got a pretty good future.
Yeah, he does.
Edwin Encarnacion. Ball 1. Here's an amazing stat for you. Buchholz has retired 47 of 56 first batters faced, better than 84% this year.
Well, the happy number 70. I mean, everybody gets real excited when you maintain that, but to have it above 80 the way he does.
How about almost 85?
Yeah, almost 85%. That's a big number. Really prevent a lot of the ball games that obviously are very tight games that you're just not going to be able to jump out there. Here's his numbers on the season: 55 ball games, 58 in the third. 154 earned run average, and that number of 1 losses there you're staring at, that 6-3. You get that because you're in a lot of tight ball games. You tie games down 1, you come on and pitch the 8th, the offense pick you up.
High fly ball to left field. Holiday, another opportunity.
Half a grain for being in the seats. Just got underneath that with his power, and that's what happens when things are going your way. You make a good fastball, make a pitch, they get under it a little bit.
2 outs. Jay Bruce will come up. Buchholz has allowed righties to hit 180 this year. Lefties 153. The other thing, George, he gets the outs quickly. He's averaging 13 pitches per inning, which is the 2nd lowest among National League relievers.
Well, here's the thing, and the reason why that happens, because of the good, nasty hook that he has. And he just threw it for a strike at 81 mile an hour. It's a power hook. There's a lot of guys, they don't want to get to that thing.
This thing may get out. It will. Well, that was a hook, and Jay Bruce sat on it. And now how big was that insurance run? 7-6 ball game.
It's the Jay Bruce night, third RBI for him in this ball game. Had a single, drove in 2 back in the 4th. Now his 14th home run to give him 39 on the season. Well, he had a curveball, just stayed up in the strike zone a little bit. It did get down into this area where you'd like to have it. Down here a little bit on the ground to make him go after it, so he was able to just drop the head on it. This is a strong kid with a very long, fluid swing, and this ball just ends up about 8 or 9 rows into the seats above the scoreboard in right. At a point, you were talking about the pitch count being down so low with him on the mound, Drew. I think it's because of that nasty hook. A lot of guys will swing early on his fastball, first pitch swinging, because they don't want to get to that 1-1 or the 1-2 count and then have to try to hit his curveball. So, you know, as a manager, you tell your guys, and I'm sure Dusty did the same thing, that you know what, don't let him get you to the hook spot. Make sure you get early and often on this guy.
Plus, he pounds the strike zone, so you got to figure you're going to get something to hit real early in the count.
Right, it's in process elimination, too. I mean, he has gone to a 2-pitch pitcher, and you're pounding the strike zone with those 2.
Former starter. Most guys prefer to start and reluctantly end up going to the bullpen. Not the case with Taylor Buchholz. He prefers pitching out of the bullpen.
Some guys, you just enjoy the idea that you could get in a ball game every day when you show up. I mean, that's the thing. But your bullpen is only as good as what your manager instills in you confidence-wise. And there's a lot of confidence right now in this man, Taylor Buchholz, and Brian Fuentes in the bullpen of the Rockies.
Jay Bruce hits a solo home run to make it 7-6.
With convenient flights every day, Southwest Airlines gives you the freedom to do business out of town and still come home at night.
Winston, I'm home!
With 15 daily nonstop flights from Denver to Phoenix and Las Vegas for just $79, Southwest is the nonstop leader.
You are now free to move about the country.
Baseball coverage brought to you by LG. LG, life's good.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Chevy Sports Desk alongside Eric Hillman. I am Alana Rizzo. Eric, did you hear that there's a speed walking competition in the Olympics?
That's amazing. Speed walking is a competition, is an event in the Olympics, yet they took away baseball.
Yeah.
BMX is a sport now.
True.
You know, they might as well just have thumb wrestling, lawn darts, and maybe sandwich making. That's a good Olympic event.
If I want to see speed walking, I'm just going to go to the mall on Sunday morning.
Yeah, anytime it starts to rain, you can see catch an event anywhere around here.
That and much more FSN Live after the game.
The best sports coverage is on FSN Rocky Mountain, and we're glad to have the Rocky Mountain News as part of our team. Tracy Ringlesby.
Everything that Crosby can do, Tulowitzki's better.
Sam Adams.
I think tomorrow night's a very important night for Jeff Francis to kind of set the tone.
Dave Krieger.
We saw John as very human, and we saw Patrick as almost a deity.
The coverage you've come to expect from your regional sports leader. The best sports coverage is on FSN Rocky Mountain.
Let's take a look at tonight's Nissan Momentum Shift of the game, brought to you by Nissan and your Nissan dealer. 7th inning, bases loaded. First pitch, Nick Massey out of the bullpen. Matt Holliday, a 350-foot drive off the right field wall. 3 runs come around. Barbas and Tavares arriving almost simultaneously. Our Nissan Momentum Shift of the game. Rockies go from 2 runs down to a run up. They lead 7-6 right now. First at bat for Troy Tulowitzki, who just stepped in. Nick Massett stays out there, the former White Sox. He came in the trade for Ken Griffey Jr. a few weeks back.
Well, a big, powerful arm, too. A slider that can run up to 84, 85. A fastball that will jump at you from 94 to 96. He showed 95 with that
one. He may eventually be a starter for the Reds.
Well, I think right now they're just hunting for bullpen help, and he's one of those guys that, you know, to run down into the bullpen with overpowering stuff if he can just command the strike zone.
Here's the 2-1 on Tula. This ball driven right center field and deep. Long Patterson. Oh, he did it again.
Holy cow, that dug you out of the Reds. They're up clapping on a play by Patterson again. And I'm going to tell you something right now. I want to applaud Jeff Nelson, the second base umpire. I want to applaud him. There's so much talk about replay and where it's going to be, and a lot of it is because of where the umpires aren't and able to see where balls are either caught or dropped. But when this ball's hit, look at him right down at the bottom of the screen. He's in a dead run along with Patterson to make sure, man, what a catch by Patterson up against the wall. When he catches this baseball, Jeff Nelson's about 15 feet from him in the outfield to ensure the fact that he did catch the baseball on the Hyundai cam. What a great job. Patterson never gave up on that ball. When it left the bat, I thought it was a sure double for Tulowitzki.
That is one of the better catches we have seen this year. You know, sometimes guys will lay out and it's not completely necessary. George, his last step, he was staggering.
Well, he had to be. And the other side over in that other one that he made over here on Pasetnik in left center saved another additional run for their ball club. He's made a couple of plays in the outfield that just been phenomenal. That last may be one of the best I've seen in a while.
2-1 on Torey Alba. 42,282 at the ball yard tonight. Gotta love that. If you're a baseball fan, you have to appreciate that play by Corey Patterson. Didn't help the Rockies, but if you enjoy the game, you stand and applaud great plays, and that was one. This ball popped up right side, foul ground. Votto. 2 outs, Wells Fargo customers. Visit wellsfargo.com/Rockies for 2-for-1 Wells Fargo club level seats. Seth Smith's going to swing the bat here. Outside, ball one. Man, that was some kind of catch. That really was.
Yeah, I'm replaying it back in my mind as I just sit here and watch this ball game, and I'm kind of like, wow, did I really just see what I thought Patterson did? I mean, it was an unbelievable jump on the baseball. And to get in a position to hold the concentration and to stick the glove out, that was pretty good.
He's going to get another chance. This is a can of corn.
Yeah, much easier. He only had to run 60 yards and not die. How about this? The snap throw all the way across the field to Bruce. Bruce all the way back over again to Dickerson. And Dickerson's bringing it into the house.
They get to throw it around too, not just the infielders.
We're so fired. Relax. We'll give him the new fajita steak and jalapeno chicken melts.
Melts? That's your plan?
Here's where we spent most of our budget. Short-term investments, team-building exercises, company car, recruiting, and the off-site in St. Bart's. Any questions?
Get lost in melty cheese. Taco Bell's new fajita steak melt and chicken melt. Think outside the bun.
Get the ultimate toolbox, a Tough Shed Sundance Series building exclusively at the Home Depot. Legendary Tough Shed quality and the convenience of Home Depot. Call, click, or visit, and Tough Shed handles the rest, installing your shed where you want so you can create the backyard of your dreams. Right now, get free paint on Sundance Series sheds, plus 6 months, no payments, no interest financing with your Home Depot consumer credit card.
The Tough Shed Sundance Series.
Exclusively at the Home Depot.
Colorado Rockies baseball on FSN is brought to you by Short Line Subaru on Havana in Aurora. They want to be your Subaru dealer. By ColoradoUsedCarDealers.net. Click, find, drive. And by Southwest Airlines. With Southwest Airlines, fees don't fly with us. Visit Southwest.com. Rockies have a 7-6 lead in the capital city. 9th inning, Brian Fuentes will try to close it out. And he's been as good as there is in baseball the last 6 weeks. Let's check in at the Chevy Sports Desk with Alana Rizzo. Alana?
Thanks very much, Drew. After the ball game, we'll hear from the skipper, Clint Hurdle, and Mark Stout is in the clubhouse with the team. Then on FSN Live, the Dodgers are fading and the Diamondbacks continue to stay hot. We'll talk about them. And we have an outdoor Colorado piece you won't want to miss, especially if you're a fan of extreme sports. Plus, you can now make a bet on which NFL team will have a player get in trouble. That and more coming up when you're done at 20th and Blake.
All right, Alana, thank you. Fuentes will first face Hobart Cabrera off the Cincinnati bench. He's going to hit for Baco. Baco, a left-handed bat. Cabrera, a right-handed bat.
That's where you just try to take your shots the best you can. I mean, and go at some people and hope one of these guys might be able to come through for you.
And Fuentes, strike one. That, for me, George, has been one of the biggest differences for Brian during this great run the last 6 weeks, is strike one.
Well, I think that's the key to any closer coming out of the bullpen, is to pound the strike zone with the first pitch with some authority. And it doesn't have to be necessarily a fastball. It can be the slider, whatever you're comfortable with coming out of the zone. When you come out of that bullpen, that you're comfortable with getting into the zone.
Cabrera in a ditch 0-2.
Cabrera's 0 for 3 in his career versus Brian Fuentes.
Well, in the last month and a half, since the 3rd of July, Brian has been called upon to save 11 ball games. He's 11 of 11 with a 1.02 ERA. In 18 games altogether since July 3rd. He struck out 30 of his last 66 faced. It's more than 15 strikeouts per 9 innings. Here's the 0-2.
Well, Cabrera in his career, 26 home runs entering the season when he came in. He's hit 1 this year. He's hit 327. The home run and 4 RBIs, most of the duty handling off the bench. Not his first trip around. He's been around a while. 35 years old. First came to the big leagues with Cleveland in 98, 99, 01, and 02. Then on to the Dodgers in 03, Seattle in 04.
Ryan Hannigan on deck, 2-2. George Hannigan, Ryan Hannigan. Sounds like a guy that should have been in the film The Sting.
You bring some of the movies. You haven't been to the movies for a while, have you?
I love The Sting.
Well, I know, but I mean, some of the movies you bring out,
Yeah,
you know, at the names and stuff is about 20 years ago.
It's all right. You know, the kids.
I don't go to the movie either. I just don't go to movies. All my kids do. I'm not a movie guy.
You see Jaws?
Good
Great
place
film.
Saw it here in Boulder, actually, when I was playing for the Boulder
really?
Collegians. Yes, I did. I wouldn't go swimming in the bathtub after that.
We heard that about you.
Well, I love the ocean now, but it was a long time, man. I wasn't getting in anything that you had to float in. Run through the sprinkler, and that was about it.
2-2.
Just enough of the baseball to keep this at bat alive. Good pitch by Fuentes.
A reminder, Colorado State fans, show your colors. Text Bucks or Rams 22700. To vote, Quest will donate $5,000 to the Boys and Girls Club in either Boulder or Fort Collins, whichever school receives the most text messages.
Now that's the other pitch Fuentes has gotten an awful lot, and that's on that inside corner fastball, freeze right-handers. He thought he had it there. So did the 42,282 in the yard. You can see it's inside. I mean, this next thing doesn't mess up, but then all of a sudden you see that pitch come in, and it looks good to you on the naked eye at first appearance because of where Torrealba set up and received it. I don't know how Cabrera didn't swing it.
Luis Vizcaino is the pitcher of record on the plus side. Mike Lincoln is the pitcher of record on the south side.
And it is a final in Arizona, 7-1. Arizona won the ball game.
Cabrera's battling.
He really is, taking some pretty legitimate hacks. And I mentioned earlier in his at bat, he's 0 for 3 against Fuentes.
Cabrera spent a good portion of this season in Louisville. He's another one of those guys that plays everywhere. He'll play the middle of the infield, be a corner outfielder, whatever you need.
And those are the kind of guys that extend their careers deep into the big leagues, where you get that 8, 9, 10 years in the big leagues because you have that ability to do it.
Swung on and missed. 10 pitches. Fuentes. The victory over Cabrera, 1 out, nobody on in the 9th.
Remember, it was a lot of fastballs, and then all of a sudden, here's that big moving slider up on the inner half, and it's just swung out on the top of, and the punch out on the Hyundai Camp.
How about the pen tonight, George? 6 strikeouts. They came on in the 6th inning. Vizcaino in 2 innings struck out 4. Buchholz struck out 1 in the 8th. And a strikeout for Fuentes to begin the 9th. This is Ryan Hannigan. He caught last night.
Coming off the bench, if you've never seen Fuentes, and Hannigan hasn't, it can be very difficult for you to adjust to his arm angle, his slow delivery, and the velocity that he possesses. I mean, it's just not an easy guy to hit off of when you haven't seen him. I like the way this matches up. Another young kid right behind him, Dickerson.
So Dickerson hits from the left side. 2-1. That just missed. Second straight hitter, 3-2 count. Four straight years of at least 20 saves for the Rockies' all-time save leader, Brian Fuentes. Stewart on the line at third. Outfield playing no doubles. They're deep. Pop fly right side. This one is
How about Barnes? No, he dropped it. Oh, boy. Wow, is he all right, though? That's the next thing. Man, oh, man, Clint.
What an effort by Barmes. Usually, you see the dirt on the uniform. You don't usually see green paint on a guy's uniform.
No, you don't. And this is one of those guys that'll run through a brick wall. You see him come right into the picture late. He caught it.
He did catch it. And you know what?
See, he hangs on to it here. Look at the Hyundai here now into the camera.
He's got it for a while.
Now he's bracing himself.
Why is that not an out?
Over there? Yeah, why is that not an out?
Why is that not an out?
Still got it in his glove. Nah, it popped out right there. Where'd it go? Well, why wasn't that a catch? That didn't make any sense to me. Well, Clint didn't argue about it.
Didn't argue about it. Georgie's 6 feet deep in the stands.
Well, but he walked out of there. He's on the field playing. If you caught it, you're going to go crazy and start ripping on some people and say, I caught the baseball. You're in a one-run ball game. I mean, if he made a catch on that, he's going to come out and say something on it.
3-2, down low. So Hannigan to first with one out. I want to see that one more time. If we could see a real speed from an angle to see if he had it long enough. I mean, he took 2 strides before he went into the stands.
Well, that's the thing he did. He took 2 strides and he was using the glove, which was inside of his ball, inside of the glove, to brace himself. That's it. Here he is right here.
What do you think, George?
Yeah, I mean, the umpire's coming right in here behind him in that area, and he was whistling safe in a hurry. So I don't know if the ball popped out as it caught into his glove, and we didn't see it come out of there.
Strike one on Dickerson. Dickerson homered in the 7th inning to make it 5-3 Cincinnati. Delayed call by Joyce. It's 0-2.
Now you just got multiple choices if you're Fuentes going at Dickerson. Go slider away or fastball away, either one.
Fastball, see ya. Out number 2. 2 punch outs for Brian Fuentes. That'll bring up Jeff Keppinger.
And you can see, you can just ride this ball to that outer half and do what you want to with it. You can stay down, you can stay up. But unfortunately for Dickerson, you just know that it's going to be a tough situation for him. Fuentes gets the punch out. Give me the ball. We got 1 to go.
That kid's collecting foul balls, I guess, tonight, huh? Great look at the focus of Brian Fuentes. Keppinger. Inside, ball 1. Brian's had to do a little work tonight, even though there's just 1 runner on. A lot of deep counts, 22 pitches into the inning.
Obviously a happy number for the manager, somewhere between that 15-20 mark for Fuentes and for any closer in baseball. Right now you're up going, he's the man.
Ground ball to short. This should do it. It does. Save number 25 for Brian Fuentes. Rockies come from behind late, and they win it 7-6 over Cincinnati. Vizcaino gets the victory. Lincoln takes the loss. Let's take a look at tonight's Land Rover legendary performance of the game. 7th inning, bases loaded. Rockies down 2. Not anymore. Matt Holliday off the top of the right field wall. Everybody scores. Barmes and Taveras, the last 2. A 3-run double for Matt Holliday, our Land Rover legendary performer of the game.
For Vizcaino, too, his first win in a Rocky uniform.
Good ball game all around. Saw some great defensive plays, timely hitting by Colorado, and the bullpen was terrific. The punctuation marked the Fuentes save, number 25 on the year. 7-6 final. Rockies over the Reds. Don't go anywhere. The Chevy postgame report is next.
Hey, Dex.
Hey, Sharon. Hi, Sharon.
Whoa, 2 of you. Who do I ask?
Whoever. It doesn't matter.
I need to find a good veterinarian.
Dog or cat?
Iguana.
All right. The closest veterinarian with a herpetology background, lizard doctor, is Dr. Todd Eisner. Shall we go to his website?
Thanks, Dex. Bzz.
Can we go to the website?
What?
Dex the Book and DexKnows.com. The most used, most complete local info any way you like it. Dex knows.
Not too close. What do you think? I got that insurance?
What insurance is that, Yogi?
The one you really need to have. If you don't have it, that's why you need it.
Need what?
Aflac. Well, if you get hurt and miss work, it won't hurt to miss work. And they give you cash, which is just as good as money.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
2 Molson Canadians?
You got it.
Man, that's a good beer.
Lots of flavor.
Yeah, but it goes down easy.
It's from Canada. It is beautiful up there.
Well, it's like a postcard.
Good people, too.
Yeah, just good people living in that beautiful landscape, making this incredibly tasty beer.
That's poetic. Pass the peanuts.
With a big taste and a nice finish. Molson Canadian, an honest brew.
In celebration of our 100th anniversary,
we're sharing our GM employee discount with everyone.
You pay what we pay.
Not a cent more.
The GM employee discount.
For everyone.
Take advantage of the discount and get the 2008 Chevy Malibu with better city fuel economy than Accord and Camry. That's right. Get this 2008 Chevy Malibu LS for around $19,000.
Rockies fans leave Coors Field happy on Saturday night because their team gets the job done against the Cincinnati Reds. Rocks go on to win 7-6. Good evening and welcome everyone to the Chevy Sports Desk for the Rockies post-game report. Once again, alongside former big leaguers Eric Hillman and Jeff Houston, I'm Alana Rizzo. Guys, the Rockies home for just 3 short days. They lose yesterday, but get a really good win today when they were down early. Very up and down, but they get the job done.
It was kind of like their season, up and down
exactly.
Just a little bit. But they did what they had to do tonight. They came back, they rebounded from yesterday. They got a win tonight, and they just continue to show how they do after the 7th inning. I mean, sometimes it's like, okay, we're going to play the first 6 innings, and then we'll wake up in the 7th, right. And that's what they did tonight.
They're always waking up later in the game, later in the season.
I'll tell you, I've lived in Colorado for a long time, and regardless as to where the Rockies are in the standings, they always seem to play exciting games, and tonight was no different. And this is what they really need to do. 31 games remaining. Yes, their odds of making the postseason are slim, but they need to stay positive, and here's why. They've got a lot of young guys coming up when the rosters expand who will be very excited to play for the National League defending champions. They want to come up, have a great positive experience, and the Rockies are on their way to providing that for them.
Yeah, you remember what the young guys did last year? Seth Smith, Ian Stewart. Now look at what they're doing with the big club. What's that? What happened? Oh, no, they did pretty well. Yeah. I don't know if you heard. All right, we'll head back out to Coors Field now where our Mark Stout is standing by with Matt Holliday.
All right, thanks, guys. Matt, when you went up to the plate, were you swinging first pitch? I hesitate to say no matter what, but were you going to be that aggressive?
Well, I was looking for a fastball early in the count. Never faced that guy, I don't think too many times, maybe in spring training. But, I was looking for a fastball out over the plate. I've been struggling with runners on base the last couple of days, and I was just trying to hit a ball hard and try to help the team win. I thank the Lord that I got another opportunity, and I've had a couple opportunities where I haven't been able to help the team, and it feels good to help the team.
Todd, we were talking about that Friday night. You've only been up with the bases loaded now 6, 7, 8 times this year, which seems a little bit strange. Was Friday night's at bat the most frustrating because you hit the one foul and then the pop-up?
Yeah, it's frustrating. Anytime you have a chance to help the team, and come up with just, a sac fly or, hit the ball hard somewhere and you're not able to do it.